Yeah, you can click live. We're live now on mine.
We're live, yeah, good.
Yeah. Dave's going live on his channel as well. We're live again. It is about 1:30 in the morning. We're going to do, as we said before, a few videos that are in shorter time frames. And we're going to try and get through a few subjects so that they're here on live, here on playback. And we're hoping to touch on some subjects that's going to be really helpful with you all. This one's going to be based around NASA lies, flat Earth, globalist denial, and everything that encapsulates those subjects. I'm here with Eco Dave.
Hi guys, I'm back again. And thanks for listening. I know that last video may have been a bit heavy for some, but I had to get out there. And again, it's putting a voice out for the voiceless, particularly when it's my children. So if you want to refer back to this, is going to be, we're moving on to the next subject basically. If you do have any questions about the previous hangout, please contact me, or you can contact me by email or whatever. But I certainly recognize, and I put the disclaimer there for a reason. I certainly recognize that these things need to be talked about, and again, putting a voice out for the voiceless. So anyway, we're going to move on to slightly different things here now, and we're going to discuss a few points, but we're also going to open up for question and answer. So if you want to fire some questions away, we can do that to kick it off. But we want to go a little bit deeper into, what we were discussing first, about, stationary level plane, basically also about NASA perhaps as well. And current events. So this is kind of an open hour. We're going to do probably, both of us are night owls, so we're probably going to do a bit of an all-nighter. How many hangouts we get on, we're not too sure yet, but it might be a couple more. But certainly, we're going to be here most of the night probably. So who knows? We'll get into a few more different topics.
We're still live. Don't worry. We're still
going to get into a few different topics. And we're going to discuss. I'm going to hand it over to Roxanne. She's going to discuss a few things now. And then we'll just continue with that as well.
Cool. So as Dave was saying, we're going to go through all these various subjects. And while I'm talking to you, I'm just multitasking just now. I am sending a link for a special guest who's going to be joining us. And they are going to be with us in a few short moments. They won't be able to stay with us that long because they've got a super early start, but they're being brilliant enough to come and join us this evening, well, this morning, should I say. So I'm just sending that invite out now. You know who you are. I've sent that to you on Facebook Messenger, and thank you a million for doing that. And now I'm going to get us back on camera here. And here we are. So, we're going to be talking about everything that, let me just show everyone, everything that this encapsulates. Now, everything that, sorry, my dog's underneath there. It's okay. Everything that this banner that's behind us encapsulates is basically what the topic of discussion is going to be tonight. The fact that we don't live on a spinning ball, we know this, we know we're not on a ball. The fact that outer space does not exist, the fact that we never went to the moon, and that's just for starters. The fact that they're still teaching kids a belief system in school, gravity.
Sorry, I'll just mention something. We really have to change this education system, guys. I'm coming from an education background. I'm a teacher. So basically, this Victorian system where the kids just sit and be told, and told to accept what they're told. We've got to change that. It's been around for 150 years and longer. We need to change the system.
People need to be exposed for the frauds that they are.
We need to change the system, and we need to. Hey, Jason.
There's our guest.
Nice one.
Okay, everybody, we've got Jason of the Disbury with us as well this evening. Thank you so much for joining us, Jason. I know it's obscenely late in the middle of the night or early in the morning.
It's also a night owl, aren't you, Jason? Also a night owl.
I've just got out of bed.
Okay, so if you can hear us, Jason, we can't hear you.
So
it's either on mute.
No, let's have a look.
Might be really turned down. Let me double check on mine.
I think it might be you.
So just getting back to what we were saying, guys, we need to change this. We change the Victorian education system. You know, kids have a natural ability to learn, you know, and there's far better systems, you know, for them to be able to, you know, to learn, basically, you know. But this system of putting, you know, kids in a classroom for, you know, however long, 12 years or whatever, and then just at the end of that, just repeating what they've been told. Come on, guys. We are, you know, we're more intelligent than that. And the kids are certainly more intelligent, especially kids, especially the kids these days. They've got the internet. We never had the internet when we were young. We never had the internet, you know. But the kids, I tell you what, the kids will learn more on the internet in a week than they'll learn in a year. Or some kids, a year in school. I'm telling you, something that's beneficial. Telling you what, we need a radical overhaul of the whole education system, and it can be internet-based. How about that one? What do you reckon, Jason?
Can we hear you yet?
Yeah, can you hear me?
No.
Testing, testing.
I've got you turned all the way up.
I
1,
2, 1, 2.
No, I've got your volume turned all the way up, Jason. You want to try coming back out and coming back in again?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, darling.
So just going back to the education system, I don't have any answers for sure, but I'm saying we could use a more internet-based system where you give, you know, children, kids access to certain, you know, not open access, of course not, but certain, you know, access to certain forums, you know, certain, you know, info on the internet, so where they can learn from. And I mean, they're doing it, starting to do it these days, I know, but it's only, you know, it's only a small percentage. You know, certainly I've actually been in you know, in schools that use the internet more so, and it's a great tool. You know, it's a fantastic tool, and it's more of an open forum, you know, where kids have an input into what they're learning rather than just being told what to learn. You know, come on, we need to improve the system, modernize the system. And to all the teachers out there, come on, you're the guys that should be doing this. And to the education, you know, the education authorities, you know, you should be looking at this internet-based education. That's it's going to happen. Doesn't matter, you know, whether it happens, you know, in 1 year, 2 years. Eventually, it's going to happen. So, you know, like I told you, kids learn more on the internet in a couple of weeks than they learn in a whole year. They're learning more on the internet than they learn at school. Come on, we need to change the game.
Yeah, that's really well said. Absolutely well said. I'm just going to give a shout to the chat room. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Jason, can we hear you?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
No, still can't hear you. Fair.
It's you that has. I don't have control over it.
I've got you turned up on the control room. Sorry, got you turned up in the control room.
Okay, testing.
Yeah.
Just give it a few minutes, Jason, and try and come back. How about
that? I mean, it says on my window that I'm fully.
No, can't hear you.
Oh, people in the chat room can hear me. Testing, yeah. Everybody else can hear me.
Okay, just technical difficulties here for the guests. Just bear with us, guys. We're just having a few technical. I know you can't see this on my channel, but it's on Roxanne's channel.
We've
so
just got some issues with
if we
our
can,
sound.
On my channel, you get the audio. If we get the guest in, you'll get the audio.
You can hear him.
Look at chat. People can hear me. People can hear me.
I can't.
No, I've got him turned
on. Yeah, can you hear him on your phone? Just check that. Okay.
In the chat.
Okay, now we can hear you. Okay, no. Just use it on the phone. That's fine.
Yeah, no, that'll come through as an echo.
Oh, will it? Yeah.
Yes, yeah. I can hear you on mine.
Must be something on your.
On my laptop, I can't hear you.
So just check out the volume, perhaps. Okay, now we can hear you. Okay, just use it on the phone. That's fine. See, hold on. Is echo there? Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, as I said, people can hear me in the chat there.
Bear with us, Jason. That's muted though. Is it the mic's muted or?
If I did that, then it would mute.
What I do? Oh, it froze. I'll come back in.
Okay, so if everyone can hear me, I'm a bit baffled at what's going on because you guys can hear Jason and I can't hear him. So I'm wondering what to do about that. Okay, I'm hoping it rectifies itself. Hopefully you can still hear us. And Jason, if you can hear me, yeah, try and come back in again. Once again, I want to thank the chat room for joining us at 10 to 2 in the morning. We're doing a selection of videos that are going to be there for replay. They're going to be short section videos. This one here today now is about flat earth, globe light, everything that goes with it. I'm hopefully going to be joined by Jason and Disbury as well. And we're going to be doing a Q&A. Anyone's got any questions, we'll be happy to answer them to the best of our ability.
Sure.
Obviously, I'm not not that a PhD helps, but I only know what I know. I don't know anything that I don't know. I haven't been studying the moon for 2 years, so I'm not going to be able to answer like massively deep questions about the moon. Like, there's going to be a few things that we're not able to answer. I don't have a working model.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to be held down to a model.
But guys, just go to Bart Sobral. Funny thing happened on the way to the moon.
Yeah.
It's all there. Once you've checked that video out, we never went.
Okay.
And just like
first question: volcanoes, real or hoax?
I'm not a volcanologist, so I don't know. I have to be honest with that.
Yeah.
But I don't think what they tell you is not all that's what's going on. Yeah. So I have to be honest. I'm not a volcanologist, so I'm not.
Please, I hope I can hear you.
Go on, Jason. Are you there?
Testing.
Oh,
oh
yes. Oh, you got it.
Yes.
Hey, maybe Jason can answer. We're talking about this guy's asked about volcanoes. Jason, do you have any info on volcanoes?
Are they real or a hoax?
Right. Okay. I now don't accept a lot of things now until I've fully investigated myself. Okay. So where I am is that my indoctrination tells me, of course they're real, obvious they're real. But I don't have any life experience that they're real or not. My gut feeling tells me they're real. Okay, so but I do actually say to a lot of people, anything and everything's on the table now. It's not to be laughed at. If someone says, is volcanoes real or not? Is it a hoax or what? Yeah, it's not to be laughed at. It's a legitimate question that needs to be examined. My indoctrination tells me that they are real. Of course, they're real. I can only go as far as there.
Good. Yeah. Like I say, I'm not a volcanologist, so I can't give an insight into that. But certainly, there's enough evidence, online. So just check it out online.
Yeah.
So definitely check it out.
I think if anyone's got doubts about anything, then yeah, it needs research. I thought the most stupidest, ridiculous thing was this airplane fuel hoax. That's been going around. Our airplanes are they using fuel? Because there seems to be quite a lot of strong evidence that suggests otherwise.
Can you talk a bit more about that, Jason? What have you come across?
Well, really, have you not yet?
Yeah, but kind of.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's kind of. I thought it was very fascinating, and you've got you've got guys going inside airplanes in the wings, where all the fuel is and that, and they're walking inside with no breathing kit or anything. And can you imagine what the fumes are like? And your eyes would be stinging, and you'd be choking and half dying, and all that. And they're just walking around with hammers, checking all the seams, making sure that everything's all okay. And and I kind of wonder.
That doesn't.
So yeah, and then you see. So there's a lot of kind of there's things that don't make sense to me. We've got. I live quite close to a local petrol station here, and so I often see the main tanker turn up, and the guy who gets out, before he starts fueling up, he starts putting up all his protective gear on, and he's got his fireproof gloves and boots and all sorts on, and then they start attaching all his nozzles and all that, and it's a serious threat. Something can go wrong.
For sure. Well, you have to look at what's happened in places like Nigeria, with tankers and things like that.
Yeah, yeah. But when you see like like these videos of these guys refueling aeroplanes and that, and they're in what's it, t-shirts, shorts, and pimples, and like, and they've got no fuel stains on them or anything. Nothing's kind of like, it doesn't look right, like my gut. If we're talking about volcanoes before, my gut feeling says something is disastrously wrong with how much fuel these things are taking, and I am very paranoid and think that I believe that they are running on fuel. I don't believe that they're running on the amount of fuel that these are meant to be taking.
Because they reckon it's something equivalent to about 80 or to 100 cars.
Camaro cars on each wing, wasn't it?
Each wing. So that's 100 cars on each wing in mass. That's just, but the thing is, the old adage, Jason, you've got to question everything.
Yes.
The era we're in with the internet, you've got to question everything.
Yeah. So I think it's legitimate for anybody to, if you've got doubts about some, I mean, there's some really taboo subjects as well, and I don't like them. They annoy me in that, and that might be my indoctrination as well. I don't know. You're talking about Jews and Nazis and things, and it does it's some of it, and it might be my indoctrination, and I apologize, but it sickens me, like when I hear people talking about that there wasn't a Holocaust and stuff like that. But that's just that's who I am, where I've been brought up and all that. So I believe, yes, question everything. Like, are the numbers wrong? Yeah, maybe they might be wrong. The numbers. Did people die? Yeah, some people did. See, fake Jews worship fake Satan. Yeah, there is things wrong with it, but like. I'm indoctrinated with the rest of you guys, and we're all indoctrinated to more than others on different other points and that.
Yeah. Can I open up another topic? Chemtrails.
Chemtrails again?
Can I just when we were kids, there was no chemtrails in the sky. There was the cloud, there's normal clouds.
Contrails.
Right? Yeah, or a contrail that would just phase out after about 30 seconds. But, let's go back 15 years. It started coming small scale, last 10 years. And now people, I've got to say to you, look up in the sky because it's blanketing. And what are they doing? This is real. This is not a conspiracy. Chemtrails, they're blanketing in the sky with this stuff. And if you research it, you understand what they're actually putting in there. And it's modification for crops and things like that.
Yeah.
And then also heavy metals in the chemtrails. There's a lot of work been done recently on this as well. So, chemtrails are evident. Look, it's there. You can see it with your senses. A contrail. I was actually in the park the other day, and I saw a plane go over. Contrail, clear, and it dissipated within 30 seconds to 45 seconds. Another one, going in the same direction, maybe a little bit later. It stayed there for about it stayed there for about a good hour. It was a chemtrail, basically.
Yeah.
So, guys, research this, and I tell you what they're putting up there. It's not for our benefit.
Yeah. And I think there's different types of chemtrails as well, as you say, because I have seen the sky. I've gone out in the morning and it's been clear. And then I start seeing a few chemtrails happen about 12 o'clock. But I tell you, I've been there at, like 6 o'clock and they're still there. Like the sky's full of it. So.
What they do, they morph into clouds. Then basically weather. It's not conspiracy, guys. It's weather. Adverse effects, especially on crops and crop cycles and things like that. So we're not basically in control of weather. We shouldn't. Well, there's weather modification, but we don't have full control of the weather. Some places locally may be. What I'm saying is they're trying to get control over the weather, and they're trying to get control over the crop cycles. I heard recently, I saw a video online where they've actually stopped usually in the certain season in North Africa, there's a steady rainfall, and it's there's a usual cycle of the winds coming in. Somehow, somebody outlined, you can check this online, it's there. But they put some kind of, it's probably, some kind of system where that rain pattern is not coming into North Africa anymore. So the people, obviously, they're having a hard time, with crops and food and etc. But somehow, and you can see it's on radar. It seems they've crisscrossed the skies, and there seems to be something like almost like a gate or something where the clouds bypass and then move up towards the Mediterranean. Yeah. So you can research this, guy. There's a lot of work being done.
And I believe the three main elements are meant to be strontium, barium, and aluminium, which is one of the reasons why I started using deodorants and antiperspirants aluminium free. I kind of think that if these guys are spraying it and I'm spraying it on, it seems to be in every bloody deodorant, and I kind of think, why are we putting metals on our body?
Yeah, yes, and also, you know, we're maybe ingesting those metals from crops, and also ingesting it from, you know, breathing in as well. So, you know, we don't want these chemicals, you know.
Yeah, well, my lads, they love their Lynx, and you know, their Lynx all over body spray and that. And when they spray that stuff, it's all full of aluminium and that. But when they spray that stuff, I'm choked out. The whole house is just like, my lungs are on fire with the stuff.
Perfume factory.
but again, I think this is nasty stuff, this aluminium to us. I'm convinced on it. But again, you know, like, yeah, you guys sound paranoid. Oh yeah, you really are. You're true. It is. You're right, Zoom Truth. I feel paranoid when it comes to aluminium.
Look up. Look up, see what's happening to the skies. It was like this 15 years ago.
He did say you guys sound paranoid, but I'm just letting them know I'm paranoid when it comes to chemtrails, because I see them. They're in the sky.
Something invisible. They're actually there. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and also, you know, a good tip with something I do, but obviously sometimes I use as, again, natural deodorants, but don't spray it onto your body, but spray it onto your clothes, because the clothes are going to wash anyway.
Yeah, so, I found aluminium-free ones now.
Yeah, exactly. More natural. Yeah. So, you know, basically, you know, there's some, you know, with the chemtrails, in my opinion, it's weather modification. So they're trying to control seasonal patterns. They're trying to control crop patterns. They're trying to influence the crop cycles and the also maybe the seedings. You know, having certain, you know, basically monopolized seeds like Monsanto and things like that, you know. So, guys, you're in the chat. Everything's not a conspiracy theory. You know, that's just a loaded term, you know. Just research and you'll be surprised what's happening, really. You know, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, because I only research things that are, you know, are proven, scientifically proven. You know, I don't go on conjecture or opinion or, you know, or theories. It's only, you know, basically scientific method. That should be your baseline. That should be your foundation. So. Then you want to say, yeah,
sorry, I'm just trying to do multiple social medias at the same time. So the one thing that we've been doing recently for the last 6 to 8 weeks is been going to Speaker's Corner regularly in London. It is a part of London in Hyde Park where you can go and speak about things that otherwise you don't really get the airtime or floor space to speak about. Which has really brought us here now. That's how you're here.
Yeah, we met at Speaker's Corner.
Yeah, met in person, met in real life. And that's really what we're going to carry on talking about this evening. So I want to appeal. I'm going to give the chat room about 5-10 minutes to get their subjects ready. I've appealed to the chat room already. I really want to try and talk about things that people specifically want us to talk about with this subject.
Yes.
What's important to them. You know, we all know that we don't live on a ball. Now what?
Yeah.
How are we going to expose these guys for the frauds that they are?
Yeah. Can I just mention? I just want to say something with you. You know, I think we should have a Speaker's Corner in every city, in every country in the world.
Yeah.
What you find is that people need a place where they can debate, where they can, you know, express themselves, where they can actually, you know, have a voice, basically, you know. So we need you know, we don't need to go to the level of protests all the time when it gets beyond the boiling point or beyond the, you know, you know, you know, everybody gets so frustrated where we don't need protests anymore, because as you notice, they don't do anything. So what we do need is we need a Speaker's Corner in every city, and you can do this informally. You don't need permission. Just go there and informally start a Speaker's Corner. You don't have to have a plaque or anything like that. You just go there and you start. You have a right to have freedom of expression. So you can go there, small collective, start doing this and start speaking on similar, you know, topics as well. But we need I know there are Speakers Corners in other countries. Singapore has one. There's another one in, I think, Canada, and there's another one also in England, in Nottingham. So You know, we basically, you know, it's such a good place where people can actually air their views, and then they don't get to the boiling point. So, you know, and if you notice, I mean, a large percentage of, you know, in Speakers Corner in Hyde Park, people are talking about religions, which is also necessary, and then people talk about that. But there's other things going on there as well. You can do pretty much anything. You can talk about any topic there in Speakers Corner. So what I'm saying to you, I'm putting it out there now in the community, online community. Go and do this yourself. It doesn't, you'd be surprised. It doesn't take much. A banner like this. Thanks, Jason, for organizing this as well, by the way.
Yeah.
You got another one as well.
Got another one coming. So I think we spoke offline, Jason, but if anybody wants one of those banners, I think we can organize one for them, can't we?
Yeah, of course.
So just you can email me, or you can, what's your, do you want to put your link there, Jason?
Well, yeah, well, you can do my link, or I'm quite happy to give my email address.
That's fine. Yeah, go ahead, yeah.
You know, like, so you can always email me directly. I get enough spam as it is, so you guys won't make one iota difference. Yeah, so here's my email address, and yeah, if you go, and obviously if you go to FE Start as well, there's some flyers there that you can download as well. And when we get time, we will update it and get more flyers in. We want to get different designs of banners in there as well, because I specifically want a banner similar format as what's behind.
So let's just have a look at that. So if you guys want to, we're just going to jump out of the screen for a minute. Yeah. This is what Jason did, and it's just, you know, it's all there basically.
I kind of want to do a space NASA only one. Well,
my channel. This is the banner that Jason came up with, and has, you know, we've elaborated. You know, it's been elaborated. And as I say, if you know, if anybody's into station level play, flat Earth, etc., you know, and doing, you know, similar things, and you want to get on the street or a Speaker's Corner, whatever, you know, you can send me an email, or you can drop Jason a line, and we can organize something. You can organize, or we can organize something similar. And we can you'll have to pay, you know, pay for the banner, which is not so expensive. We can talk about that offline. It's not for profit. We're not making any money about it.
Well, yeah. I was going to say we can talk to it online as well. I really have no problem.
Okay, if you want to do that, Jason, that's fine. But I just want to make a point here. Anybody who's in America or, you know, overseas, or, you know, you're going to have to pay post and packaging, which is different to the UK. So there will be an extra charge for that. It's a lot more expensive to send something like this. It's only about, I think it comes out to about 800. Was it less than a kilogram in post, with including postage or whatever? I'm not sure.
I really don't know
that, but yeah. But maybe the company, they also post it directly, but it's certainly more expensive to send it to the States or to, you know, other countries. But in the UK, if you're willing to give that info out, Jason, that's fine with me.
Yeah, they're really, really cheap to put together. I think that in the UK with postage, it comes out to about £30 per, you know, like per 6 foot by 6 foot. Really, you know, fantastically cheap. But yeah, if anyone in the States and all that wants one, it will cost. It may be cheaper to get one done locally, and I'll just send you all the PDFs and all the information that you want for it.
Okay, and just a point, Jason would be kind enough as well to put your information here. You see, we've got your YouTube channel, the Instagram channel. We've got John Smith's Global Eye there as well, and FE Start. But you can have, you know, several channels there. And Jason, would you be able to organize that for him, Jason? To put
any information
to there, yeah.
I'm just looking at Flat Earth Boxer. He says he has a.
Sorry, I'm just going to take you up close to it so you can see.
So,
yeah.
So yeah, Jason would be able to help you out with the customization to put your own, you know, info on there for your links to your channels. So I would suggest get in touch with Jason, because he's got the information about the company.
Yeah.
And Jason has he's got the templates for it. So it's very easy for Jason to actually put the links in there, because he's got the original template. So
I just noticed Flat Earth brought that. Yeah, you're welcome. Just send me an email, and I'll get the files out. And if you want, we can collaborate, and we can change a few bits on you know, like whatever that you want, buddy.
Oh, that's another alternative. Yeah, you can actually get the files sent to you, and then get in your local area or in your town or city or whatever, you can get a banner company to make it up. So instead of sending it from the UK, you could actually get a banner company in the States to do it. Probably, I would imagine, you know, similar amounts. So, you know, I'm not so familiar with, you know, the US
dollars
charges, you know, for similar things, but it would probably be quite similar.
Yeah.
But that's an easier way of doing it. Just get the PDFs and the files, and then basically just get a banner company to make it up for you. I mean, and where'd you get them made? It's on eBay, isn't it, Jason?
Yeah, I a while, but I used a couple of companies because I've tried a few companies and all that. But the guy who does this one, you know, like I mean, £30 plus postage, and it comes out immaculate. It's perfect. The print is amazing.
Yeah, and it's washable as well. So if you get a little bit, you know, dirt on there, wherever, you can just, you know, sponge with a soapy water, whatever, you can just clean it off. So it's not something that, you know, it's going to get damaged or whatever, you know.
Well, you've seen all the dirt and all that rain that we had in that the last well, not the last Speaker's Corner, the one before that. It was that you didn't turn up to, Eco Dave.
I was busy that day. Sorry, Jason. You know, I got, you know, it was really, it was kind of, you know, pretty windy that day as well. I didn't think there would be anybody there, but it's amazing. Even on a blustery day with rains and whatever, people still turn up because they want to. And this is what Roxanne was saying. People are coming there for a discussion. I mean, you made a great point, Roxanne. You said that people are coming there. They're shopping for a debate. They're shopping for information. So do you want to, if you want to elaborate on that, you know?
Yeah. No,
and what's your angle on the, you know, the Speaker's Corner thing?
Yeah. So I suppose that there'll be some people in the chat room that have watched my lives, so they will see how it can go from being quite cool, calm and collective and having a nice, long, lengthy 35-minute discussion and it ending with shake hands. And then they can see when we're overrun with real life argumentative.
I wouldn't worry about them too much because it's a small percentage. And the funny thing is, you can recognize them a mile off. And also they ask the same questions every week.
All three of us have been there.
Yeah.
All three of us that are here now have been there.
Yeah. So that just brush that off, guys. I mean, yeah, you notice if you don't give them any, if you don't feed the trolls, they soon disappear. So
that's right.
But it's true, right? So, you know, we've all had an experience individually and collectively of people coming to us for the first time, having a lengthy conversation, going away, doing research, coming back the next week, having another conversation, going away, doing some research. And I stand here now, in reality, telling you that some of those same people are now standing there and activating themselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've watched the growth of people over the last 6 to 8 weeks to the point where they're turning up now to talk about it themselves.
Yeah, that's quite common. If somebody comes along and then they actually join, they kind of, you know, they get up there. And the beauty of that is that we had one gentleman who's from he speaks a different language. And what we know is he came one week and he was, you know, he was just taking it all in and having a chat. Obviously, he'd, you know, done his research. The next week he came back and he had, because he was speaking in his language, something that we couldn't do.
No.
I've seen that.
Did you see that, Jason? Yeah.
I did. Because I had a conversation when he first started. You know, like, so I was one of the people that, you know, helped him, you know, come into it. And he was a fascinating chap. And then
Do you notice he had about 50, 60 people around him at one point?
Yeah, I was amazed to see that. It was such
If you're listening now, I mean, you know who you are because we've spoken a few times.
You never know, we might see him tomorrow.
Yeah, so good on you. I mean, he seems to be there every week, so good on you. If you're listening now,
maybe it might be worth us reaching out to a few of these people to maybe get them to come on a live hangout as well and give you their aspect of things.
Yes,
a lot of these people come from different creeds, different cultures, all different, you know, international communities across the
and everybody's listening. If anybody's listening there and wants to, you know, who's, you know, research this and involved, come along and have a chat. And, you know, and certainly if you want to get involved, it's an open forum.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
You know, and again, back to that point, we need a Speaker's Corner in every city in all countries of the world. Doesn't matter which country. And I'm telling you what, it's beneficial to all, because we don't get to the point of protest then.
How long will this be able to carry on? This.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So YouTube, your people hangouts, YouTube, they'll be gone soon. They won't.
But we still do on a grassroots level. So I'm putting out there to everybody who's watching this and anybody who may watch it in the future. You'd be surprised. It's very easy to do. 3-4 people go there. You make your own informal. You don't need any permission from anybody. You're talking. It's freedom, you know, freedom of speech basically. You might have an issue with the banners. You might have to put them on the floor or whatever, but that's usually not a problem. But you can talk about any topic. I'm saying if you just go, and this I'm talking to everyone now in all countries. If you just go, your local park or the main park in the city or town. You start talking. Look. Harry's a great example. What a good example Harry is. I mean, you know, look what he does. You know, I mean, and so the proof's in the pudding. He's right there. It's all on his channel as well. You know, and he set up. I mean, when he went to Scotland, he did that Scotland tour. They just set up anywhere. You know, and the locals were more than welcoming to him. So you can. I'm not saying you'd have to be a bit careful. You know, not in front of shops and things like that. But certainly in parks are an open space. And I would say to any authorities that, you know, if this gets out there to any of the, you know, local councils or wherever, or, you know, in the country, open a speaker's corner. It'll save you a lot of trouble. Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen as well, Pete and Pete. They do Chester, and so they just pick a shop, stand in front of a shop. I think they probably pick a closed shop, or something. Or
a flea market. You know, the flea market, you can just get your, don't sell anything, just go there.
Yeah.
Just put the banner. Just don't, you know, flea markets. You know, you go in there to sell stuff. But just go and put your, and people will be amazed. What are you doing?
Do yourself a car boot sale and then just stand.
Yeah. There's it. I mean, that's every Sunday in every town, in every, you know, in the UK. I don't know about in the States, but every town has a car boot.
That's it.
Do this, you know, and it, you know, it costs you what, 5 or 10 or whatever. But you know, you'll have a good time doing it, basically. And say, Jason's the guy to speak to with the banners. I mean, that'll get you started, because sometimes you need a medium for you to talk to somebody. You need a medium, especially with these kind of topics. You need a medium to get the conversation going. You can't just say, you know, boom, you know. You can. I mean, also you can. We've done that at Speakers Corner. You just start pinging to people because that's the forum. But it's good to have mediums like this, because then it starts the conversation. So definitely, you know, Speakers Corner in every town, every city. Certainly in England, I think that was the tradition a while back. You know, not only London. It was that was the tradition. You know, if you wanted to say anything, there was no newspapers, no media, nothing. You know, that was the way of doing things. Get in the park and you know, getting on your box.
Jason, you've had a little experience of talking to mainstream media, haven't you? It's on your channel, on Jason of the Disbury, isn't it?
Oh God, what was his name?
Share your experience on your boat.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think what his name was.
Jeremy Vine.
Jeremy Vine. Radio.
Yeah. Sorry, because the way that come about, just to inform a few people, we'd done some activism in the Isle of Wight, so we met up a couple of people, and then I got a phone call while I was on me boat in Penzance in the harbour, and he said, "Go on that." Jeremy Vine's going to be doing a chat on the BBC Two radio station. And I thought, you know, it sounds great, but he's such a fucking idiot. He said he'll make a mockery of us, and not realizing that I thought he was talking about Jeremy Kyle show, who's a complete idiot in our country and all that. And
that's a different, that's a different guy.
So I'm saying, it sounds good for us to watch, but you know, like, don't go on it for yourself. They'll make an idiot of ourselves. And then afterwards, I kind of thought, I realized it was Jeremy Vine. I thought, oh no, you really want to go on that? That'd be that. You know, he's pretty fair with people. You want to speak to him, and so I phoned up the Radio 2 channel and that, and then they turned around and said that they've got enough people that but they may be able to fit me in if someone cancels. And the person who cancelled was Dave Marsh.
Yes, Dave. Yeah, he mentioned it to me. Yeah.
Yeah, he cancelled. I think he had problems with the NHS. You know, saying that he's not allowed to do such a talk or something. So when they phoned back, I was totally caught off guard, and I was going around frantically trying to switch cameras on and things. You know,
were you on your boat, Jason? Were you on your boat? Can I ask? Were you on your yacht?
Yeah, I was on the boat, and
you had a good Wi-Fi signal, and everything was fine,
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. That was all okay. But it just worked out so well. He was really friendly. He was really kind to me. You know, like he was fair. You know, like of course, I don't know what the questions are going to be. You know, like he just kind of like, you know, hit you with these questions, and he made one mockery statement. You know, like, "Am I in the harbour so that I don't fall off the edge of the world?" Twat.
Yeah. That's part of the course, though, isn't it? It's part of the course.
That's it. So, but that was kind. It could have been so much more brutal.
He's quite a well-spoken, intelligent guy.
Yes.
So, and I think the interview as a whole, I mean, just coming from an observer's point of view, came across really well.
Yeah.
Especially, I don't know whether you did the edit or did John Thor do the edit, or did you do the edit?
Yeah, I did the edit.
The edit came across really well as well. So kudos for that, you know.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, like, I think sometimes when we see people on the media, we're quick to be negative and to judge, but what people don't realize is that you're not in control of the edit. You know, like, you're not in control of it all. There's an edit room there. You know, like, even when you think it's live, it isn't live.
No.
You know, like, there's always a delay there. You know, like, so yeah, you're just not in control of it all. And I think that because I heard all the negative comments of the guys who went on the morning show, you know, in
ITV, yeah,
ITV, and I thought you're not quite being fair, you know, like, it is such a difficult thing, and if you say anything totally out of place that's going to offend them, then you're never going to go back on. You'll never get your foot on another show ever again. That's it. End of. You know, like, so yeah, you kind of have to play by their rules.
Of course, their platform, but it's it's really difficult to squash everything down for 10 minutes. You know, so I think they did a good job. I mean, if they're listening, I think they did a really good job.
Yeah,
10 minutes. You know.
Yeah, yeah. But I've seen. I've seen.
Is Jason frozen there? Is he still there? Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry,
Jason, are you still there?
We're all frozen.
He was pondering the thought.
But I'm going to put this out there to anybody who's in the media, because I know Roxanne's just had recently, she's been approached by, can I say this? Is it okay? I'm not going to give out but she's been approached by one of the mainstream newspapers in the UK. So anybody who's in the media, who's in the, you know, whether it be, you know, newspapers or TV or whatever, I think most people in this community are certainly, I'm not going to speak for anybody else, but we would certainly be up for doing any interviews with newspapers. And we certainly would be up for doing any TV interviews as well, so long as that we do have an opportunity to speak about, you know, what we discuss usually, like at Speaker's Corner. And to any media company, even private media company, just come down to Speaker's Corner on a Sunday. There's loads of content there, because this is, you know, some of the channels down there who are YouTube channels, they're getting 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 hits in a week. Or, you know, within a day of making it, a couple of days. So I would suggest to any, and certainly to the, you know, the newspaper that approached Roxanne, just come down. There's no need to go to Denver to the international conference. It's happening in London, and it's grassroots. It's real. It's not, you know, I'm not saying, of course, you know, that the conference. Oh, and did you want to mention the thing about what's happening at the end of the? We can mention that later. But I would suggest to any media company, just come down to Speaker's Corner, or you can contact Jason, you can contact Roxanna, you can contact myself, and we'd be more than willing. And if you want to hang out with us for a couple of hours in Speaker's Corner, you can make a great documentary about that, because you get all sorts. And you just look on YouTube, look at my channel, Jason's channel, Harry's channel, which is John Smith Global Eye, Roxanne's channel, and you can see there's loads of content, you know. And we'll be, I mean, I'm up for an interview. I mean, you know, I'm sure these guys are up for interviews as well, you know. What do you reckon, Jason?
Well, I was going to say, Jason, this would be a good time I think we'll do a joint effort in trying to give everyone a synopsis of what's about to go down. I mean, Harry's just asked a really valid question. How do we get more media attention? And I said, well, go on a UK tour.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, as I say, I mean, like, me and Harry at the beginning of the year, we were going to do a UK sailing trip around the UK, and it was purely for media attention. You know, anything that we could possibly think of. You know, I was going to hire lorries with flat Earth banners all around the lorry, and spend a week just traveling the country anywhere. You know, I was just thinking outside the box to get sort of media attention, and that, you know, like hanging banners off Clifton Suspension Bridge in Bristol and things, and just all sorts, you know, like thinking outside the box yet again, over and over. But we started the year off talking about sailing around, doing this exact trip, what we're about to do, but sailing around the UK, visiting all the ports and talking flat Earth and all that. But for one thing and another, you know, like it didn't materialize, and to finish the year doing exactly what we set out to do at the beginning of the year, but this time on land. Yeah, it sounds fantastic. It's and all we're after is creating as much of a stir with the media as possible. We're going to be speaking to radio stations for every town that we visit, every local newspaper for every town that we visit, and hopefully, you know, like them small news media outlets will filter out into the bigger outlets, you know, yes. Like, you know, that's the plan. But just make a stink, make a stir, shout at the, you know, rudes, you know, like, try not get into trouble with the authorities, you know, like, because, you know, you don't want to be a martyr for something, you know, like you need to be around the week after to do it again.
So I'm just going to give a plug there. So any of you guys out there that want to, you know, help Harry, and Jason's going on tour with Harry as well. Just check out Roxanne's channel or John Smith Global Eye or Jason's channel. There's a link there to the tour. It's going to be happening over the next 8 weeks, is it, Jason?
Yeah, it's 8 weeks.
So these guys really could do with, you know, it doesn't matter what it is, you know, a couple of quid, you know, a cup of coffee, price for a cup of coffee, whatever. Or, you know, if you're so inclined, you know, a little bit more, certainly, you know, but you can, you know, Harry has been doing this relentlessly this whole year, and he's been funding it himself. So, you know, just why not, you know, shoot Harry, you know, a couple of quid and whatever, and you'll be surprised. It's on GoFundMe and it's on Patreon as well. So, you know, he's not making profit. He's not doing this for money. No, we all don't do this for money. It's certainly not. You couldn't make any money out of this for sure.
No, that's right. If anything, like myself, by doing this, to not work for 2 months and all that, I'm going to be losing quite a lot of money. It's far from what you think. We're paying for our own food. We're paying for our own beer.
Petrol's a big one, isn't it? Petrol's going to cost you quite a lot.
That's it. Any money that goes for it, it'll just go for leaflets. It will go for the petrol, for our accommodation, the camper van. To be honest,
any big spenders out there? Certainly Richard Branson or any of those guys. You know, the big, you know, the big benefactors to get behind this. So, like I said before, you know, you just shoot any of us a link, and fully transparent. It's not, you know, and just get behind Harry what he's doing, because he's doing this and with Jason together. But he's been doing this for a long time on his own, pretty much, and he's a great example to everyone. So,
yeah.
Description. I mean, in the chat room now, as we speak.
So, Jason, are you going to go full tour?
Yeah,
Harry earlier. You said
I wasn't meant to. Look, I was meant to be signing 3 weeks ago. I was meant to be signing a year's contract with Mars and Wrigley's. And for one thing or another, I get the sneaky feeling they're seeing my Facebook page. So I got a feeling that, you know, because I've been working with them over Christmas, and you know, like I'm a computer technician, guys, a computer analyst. So I've been working for them. They've been really happy with my work and that, and then. But I didn't have a full-term contract and all that. So they phoned me up 3 weeks ago and said, "Oh yeah, we've got a year's contract for you." So I said to Harry, said, you know, like that, "No, I can't go with you. I might do a few weekends and that." But like 3 weeks later, I'm still waiting to sign this bloody contract. You know, like, and that's, you know, I just said to Harry, I don't want to wait no more. You know, let's just
got to get on with got to get on with things. Yeah,
get on with things. So guys, I mean, like me going along. Harry knows my situation, my predicament, but I'll lay it out for you. So I'm pretty broke at the moment, and that, you know, I've got a family, 5 kids, and that. So 3 of them, yeah, three have kind of grown. Sorry, 3 are grown up. Yeah, 3 are grown up. You just got to think who of them 3. And 2 of them are still at home living with us and that. And so money's always an issue and a little bit tight.
Yeah, it's just
so
it glitches sometimes. Sorry, it's all right. We'll keep going with it.
Okay, guys.
Didn't we? Yeah, I don't. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. So you know, like, so I'm going along with this tour, and what I've done is I've sold my bike.
Motorcycle.
Yeah, it went away today. So,
that's a tough one to part with.
So I was having a little cry about that. So I sold my bike.
What was it, Jason? What was it? What kind of bike was it?
Oh, it was only a Honda Ferrado 125. But it's like it's the biggest of all the 125s that you can buy in.
Nice touring bike, yeah.
It is. It's a great touring bike in that. So that went today. So I've put quite a bit of money in the pot for Harry.
Oh, cool.
And myself, you know, like, again, I said, you know, like even Harry will say that we're feeding ourselves and we're as well on top of it. So, but it just means that I've decided that I'm going to do the full 2 months with him. And that way we can share the drive and share the experience. It was something that we were going to do at the beginning of the year, and now we're ending doing it anyway.
And it's great, isn't it? And then the itinerary is all there on the channel, on your channel there, the itinerary. So
yeah, so well, we did put a calendar up there, but some people have had a few problems trying to view the calendar. So what there will be is on our Facebook pages that the dates are all on the Facebook pages. But when we start, we do have another website called globali.co.uk. And that will be released. I'll open that website up as and when they start, because I haven't got content, you know, to put on yet until we get started. And then all also channel dates will be all listed there as well. Channel dates, all the location and dates will be listed in there.
Brilliant. So if anybody wants to come along and have a chat with you and discuss things, and you know, they're very welcome to. I should imagine, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We kind of like the whole idea of doing this activism is so that we can meet up with other activists along every location. Hope that people turn up for that, but equally as well. I mean, like come back to the camper van, and we'll put a stew on or something, and we'll go out of our way. We'll try and feed you guys. If you're out helping us, well, you know, like we want to feed you and have a chat.
Brilliant. So
I'm also going to put the list of dates on the about section of my YouTube page for the duration of this tour. So after all the lives that I'm doing this evening, I will be updating the about section of my YouTube page, and I'll list all of the dates and locations on there. So it's just a quick switch over to the about, because I know not everyone uses Facebook. So that for those people, the information will be on my about page.
While we've got Jason on the live here, does anybody in the chat want to ask Jason any questions?
Yeah,
I mean, we can just fire some questions to
Jason, or
about the tour, about you know, about anything else. Yeah, certainly.
Any specifics anyone has, if you could put them in the chat room in capitals with the question mark, that'd be excellent. John Smith Globalize in the chat room as well. He's happy to answer any questions. Hi, Harry.
Is he going to come live, or is he?
I think he's probably multitasking,
editing,
getting ready for the tour, packing up half of his house for 2 months.
Harry.
And probably mowing his lawn and doing the gardening at the same time. All singing, all dancing.
Shout out to Harry. I mean, the Marathon Men. Again, I've got a new nickname for him, Marathon Men.
Unrelenting force. An absolute.
Should see him at Speaker's Corner as well. Brilliant, brilliant. And the edits are fantastic. So a big shout out to Harry. You know, and like I say, these, you know, I know these guys because I spend, you know, time with Speaker's Corner, and, you know, they will, you know, if you want to come along, just have a chat with them, you know, great, because they're very, very accessible. So I can vouch for them. Kudos to you guys as well. So I'm glad to hear that you're actually going the full tour, Jason. Brilliant.
Yeah. I mean, it's been. I always say that when you've got relationships in flat Earth and all that, you have to use your common sense and have balance. A little bit of flat Earth, a little bit of relationship time, and that. And I am absolutely useless at that. I really am. It seems to have gone all flat Earth this, and it's going to be the next 2 months. And so yeah, I fingers crossed. I've got a home to come back to.
That's right. Yeah. Any questions there in the chat for Jason? Here we go, Jason.
Harry wants to know, Jason, what's up with his jeans?
Yeah, I was trying to work out jeans. What's he bloody on? Oh, jeans. Fuck off. What it is, thank you, Harry. What all it is that I have to go out and buy some jeans for this tour, because I've got 5 pairs of jeans and they've all got holes in my. Sorry, Roxanne, my right bollock area.
We'll just edit that one out.
The things we learn on live, the things we learn.
I've got all my jeans out. I've got some needling cotton and that, and I'm not really good at that, so I might have to go out and buy some new jeans.
Right, and another question.
There we go, Jason.
Are we going anywhere near Bolton on the tour?
I think we are, aren't we?
Yeah.
Are we actually going into Bolton?
Not quite sure, Harry, if you got the answer to that. I don't know the list off by heart, obviously. If you go to, where is going to be?
Yeah, I can't check out offhand because we had
problems. Jump out for 2 seconds.
Yeah, no
carry
worries.
on, yeah. So I'll be back in a minute, guys.
Yep. I've got the list on my. I know there's people in the chat room that don't have Facebook. So if you bear with me until the end of this live, I will update the about section on my YouTube page, and that will give you all of the destinations and all of the dates. There are over 50. Am I right, Jason? Over 50 destinations.
I think it was over 56, was it?
Wow.
I think it was about 56 destinations.
So 50 destinations ending in London on November the 3rd. It's going to end in, I think, undisclosed location to be confirmed publicly, or can it be confirmed publicly? Not the venue.
No, that's right. I mean, we will be ending in London, but we think we've got the location that we'll be ending at, but we're not 100% sure yet until we've secured it. You know.
But we want to do. Can we tell people what we want to do?
Yeah, we can tell that.
So we want to do an end of tour free conference in London with some drinks and nibblies for people to come to, where it's going to be an opportunity to meet with anybody and everybody that's A, been involved with the tour, and B, is in the vicinity of London. If we can get anybody to come to the venue to have some heated debates and have it out, then we will do. The tour is going through Oxford and Cambridge. So, you know, there's no telling what the outcome of the tour is going to be. And on that journey of the tour, should you and Harry come across people that are interested in making a pilgrimage to London for this free conference, and it is a free conference.
Wow, free conference, guys. We can do this free.
Yeah, this is a free conference. It's free for all. The more the merrier. Come one, come all. We the people, we need to stand up and be counted. And I really do believe that is going to happen with real human interaction. I appeal to every single country across the face of this flat plane of existence, no matter if you're in Poland, in Tenerife, in Italy, in Spain, Portugal, no matter where you are, yeah? Go out and have human interactions with your fellow human beings. Go into your town centre, go to your coffee shop, spark up a conversation, and don't make it a mundane one, yeah? Eventually, it can lead to this, what we're talking about now.
Yeah. Free open debate, basically, yeah.
I'd love to see in my lifetime multiple countries doing this, and just, you know, in America, I appeal to all Americans, get on your Route 66, man, and go from east to west.
Yeah, well, you've got
D.Marble.
Wow,
you've got a vehicle, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I will sponsor you, fam. I will
get out there.
You. If you get out there and do it,
I've been in the States. I know.
I'll put the dough in your pocket.
The road trips you can do in the States. Oh wow!
Massive respect to D.Marble. He gave us a shout out on his hangout the other day, and he sponsored us as well. So, you know, like for like, you know, we're going from one side of the country to the other, and we're trying to tell the masses. I strongly suggest the US compatriots that are in the chat room get their thinking caps on and get a massive tour going from one side, and stop by NASA on the way. We're going to try and make a pilgrimage and try and swing by the old British Space Agency and make some noise within vicinity of their earshot.
Brilliant.
And I think, you know, that's what we need to call out these frauds for the criminal people that they are.
54 was it 54 million a day?
How can we look for ways to expose these frauds? How can we look for more ways to
19.1 billion
for what they are? So
yeah.
Yeah,
I think people like John Thor and that, you know, like he's bringing up some nice content and that.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of like Globusters, and I think I learned an awful lot from places like that. There's a lot of you guys out there, you know, like from Paul and the Plane, and obviously Phuket. Is it Phuket Word?
Yeah. Yeah.
I learned so much from these guys, you know, like, so it's not just exposing them, it's learning this stuff yourself, and you know, like you know what's actually going on in our world. A brand new way of learning. It's just research, keep studying and get educated. So when you're out there on the street and you're talking to people, we're not being laughed at. We've got legitimate arguments, and we've got really good, strong, healthy debate with them. So yeah, just keep researching, keep learning.
Yeah, I mean, it's surprising over the course of a number of months how things have changed. Even in the, and really, it's breaking through to the mainstream as well. It's like, but kudos to you and Harry for putting on a free conference. Well done. I mean, that's going to be the end of the tour, is it, Jason? Is that the end of the tour?
Yeah. Well, basically, we're I mean, it's not 100% definite yet. That's why we're not giving the location away yet, because we're trying to organise a space for us all to have for for the day.
It's going to be in November, is it? When is that? November?
Yeah, it will be November the 2nd or 3rd.
Yeah, okay.
One of them 2 days. I'm not sure which one.
Oh yeah, sorry guys, I've got another question. This is just going to peel off as well, and I do want to stress all the links and everything going to be put into the description at the end of this video.
The links are up there as well if you check. Yeah,
we do have a genuine question, and it's for both of you, but I'll start with Jason.
Okay.
Got a few people asking the same question. They want to know how old you were when you woke up, and how you woke up, and how you got to the point where you are now.
Okay. Yeah, it's quite fresh for me, so it's a little bit easier for me. I've been asleep for 47 years, and I woke up last year. Last year. I kind of woke up roughly around.
It's okay, we'll go with it. We just had a little connection cut, but carry on, Jason.
Okay, over there.
Okay, right, no problems. Okay, yeah. So I was watching. It was kind of like the beginning of what's it, last year, and I was watching. At first, it was Dave Murphy, and I was watching him. It was all to do with Free Men of the Land and
yes.
And all that side of things, and that. And I thought it was all fascinating, And I watched the film Straw Man and things, and I was learning about the money situation and where does all our money get created from, and that, and I thought that was fascinating. So watching Dave Murphy, I noticed that he had the YouTube. It brings on the next available video, and it started. It was the interview of the Macedonian interview that he took. I only watched about 10 minutes of that. I didn't really understand what they were babbling on about, but it was kind of like strange. But kind of like I seen that a flat Earth was mentioned at some point, and I seen on the right it was Eric Dubay's 200 Proofs. So I watched the first, I don't know, 25 minutes, half an hour of it. Watched that, and thought, this is absolutely nonsense. This is stupid. It's ridiculous. I turned it off and went to bed. I sat there, sat there literally. I was probably sat upright in bed, kind of like just looking at the ceiling in bewilderment and wondering what the hell I just watched, and my mind was racing because all my life I've always had a problem with understanding the seasons. The seasons to me have never made sense my entire life.
On a ball,
well before Flat Earth on a ball. They do not make sense to me. I never understand, or I will never accept the,
because the tilt of the Earth,
you're talking nonsense. If the sun is like 93 million miles away,
4 degrees. What's the include? You take out of 90 degrees, and what is
it? Gives a tough 1 degrees. What are you talking about? Yeah, so it makes no sense to me. I think you have to be a moron to believe in,
How can the tilting ball still revolve and around? Oh, it's just fantasy land.
Yeah, so from that, watching that Eric Dubay's half an hour, and then the next morning I come downstairs and I finish the rest off, and I was mesmerized, of what like the rest of it, and my head was spinning, and I would not accept one iota that what I've just heard, was true. There has to be scientific reasons that prove Eric Dubay wrong. He's got to be an idiot, this guy. It just would. But so I set out, and it took me 4.5 months from then.
Research.
And I'm not kidding. I was at that point. I had 3 businesses at that point, and I kind of put everything on hold, and I spent. I don't know, 15 to 18 hour days just doing research all about Flat Earth, at the detriment to my businesses. And anyway, so after doing all that, when I went to my first camp to meet people, I still wasn't a flat earther when I went to my first camp, which was down my neck of the woods in Plymouth Way. It was Tor Point. It was.
Yeah.
And Harry happened to be there. That was the first time I met him.
Oh wow.
So I mean, I wasn't expecting to meet him there. You know, like there was some flat earthers. I would say I was probably about a 80% flat earther. You know, like
I'm with you. I got it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I wasn't 100% convinced. You know, like, and the first day that I met Harry, and I'd say, well, I can still see a curve, can't I, Harry? And he wasn't too impressed with that. And you know, like, so I kind of, that's kind of my way into it. And I felt as though I properly did my research to debunk all of this nonsense, and failed miserably.
Yeah, and that's what everybody comes to, that when they really start looking into this and trying to, you know, it's the same. There's no proof that we live on a ball, guys. There's no proof. There's not one solid proof that we live on a ball. Yet, with the scientific method, there are so many proofs that we live on a stationary level plane.
Yeah.
I mean, it come from me. I mentioned this earlier in the first hangout, that when I was in school, I was sitting in the classroom thinking, what are these guys talking about? Because I kind of knew. But you know that when you're a kid, there's a knowing, you know it, but you don't kind of fully acknowledge that. You just know it. So I knew from an early age. I would say that from a very early age. I don't know why, but I knew it. And I just kind of I used to look at things and trying to, you know, analyze things and whatever, even at a young age. And then for me, it was really when YouTube hit in. It was like 2007. YouTube was kind of came online. Mm. And then I had the opportunity then. I mean, I'd read books on flat Earth before then. So in the 90s, I'd read books. You know, I certainly come across, you know, several books with dealing with flat Earth. You know, Rowbotham's, you know, experiments and things like that. So I'd looked into it, but it was only the research, and we had the tools then. When we got YouTube, we had the tools to really, you know, start flicking between different evidence. And verifiable evidence. Everybody started talking to each other. So for me, it really started. I wouldn't say it was the big turning point in 2007, because it was just the start. And back in the day, YouTube used to be so slow as we have then. It was so slow. It was almost like Yahoo, or you know when it started out. So it was really slow. And I was like yourself, Jason. I'm into tech. So I used to get the latest tech toys and whatever tech goods, and I used to get the latest models and things like that. So I got online very early, you know, even before then. I was online in the 90s. You know, in 94 the internet started, but it was only getting access to it. I was already online in 96.
I was, same time. All we had was access to universities and things.
Yeah, exactly. So I was reading peer reviews, things like that, evidence, scientific reviews, things like that, always online. So I always had that knowing of it. So it was always there, but it was kind of in the background for some time. And then I would say from about pre-2010, you know, when the financial crisis hit, I tried to figure that whole thing out, because it didn't seem so, you know, why would they just kind of, you know, Freddie Mac and the bank, they just kind of, you know, everything just collapsed. So I really started, you know, you talk about things you start investigating. So obviously, you know, 9/11, I went through all that, the moon landings and all of that. But I really got, because I was kind of interested in financial stuff in pre-2008. So I really started researching why the big financial crash happened. And I found out that's not what they were telling us, you know, and it's just a way of creaming off the cream, basically, you know, and taking money from the pockets of the taxpayer, and taking money from the social, you know, the social bank, basically, yeah. So that I really went in depth with the financial crisis, and then started to realize, then talk about the IMF, the Federal Reserve, where money comes from, again, the free man on the land, and it all kind of just kept on. And it was so much, because there was so much information on YouTube, then I was like, you know, wow, you can research basically anything. So I'd say pre-2010, I really got into flat. Boom. You know, 2010, it was like, yeah, it is. You know, I mean, I knew before, but I had access for about 2007 to 2010. I had access to a lot of information on the internet, also with YouTube, whatever. It was really that point. That was my big research point. So when it started getting a bit more widespread, I mean, I was researching the old scientists or the old, the people who are talking about flat Earth, like Robotham and those, people like that, 100 years ago and so whatever. So in print and also on the internet. So I already at that point at 2010, and then obviously it's really picked up in 2012, 2014.
How long before you started speaking in public about it? How long before you started having human interaction? Obviously, you knew you weren't on the ball anymore. From knowing you weren't on the ball anymore, then how long before you started?
I discussed it with people probably from about 2011, I would say. Okay. Yeah. And then obviously, and I've done some public speaking before. So, I mean, in different forums. But it's only recently we've gone in, in Speaker's Corner.
Yeah.
I mean, I was thinking about going there about a year, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But on your own, it's like it's kind of so it's like, but I'm so glad that I met these guys because we're, a collective, and it's, doing something in a group is a lot, is a lot easier. I'm not saying that you couldn't have done it. I couldn't have, it could have been possible to do Speaker's Corner for sure.
Yeah.
But it's, because of I don't want to get into the politics or anything or whatever that's happening in Speaker's Corner, but because of how Speaker's Corner has been over the last, it's a lot easier to do it in a collective.
Yeah.
And I would certainly go to other channels because there's other channels there's some big channels of Speaker's Corner that are taking interest now in Flat Earth. And actually some of those, I don't want to name names, but a lot of the speakers in Speaker's Corner are on board with Flat Earth. So, but some I'll just put a link, content over everything is a big one. They film everything.
Jedi Online is another channel that films down there as well.
Jedi Online, and then there's Speaker's Corner TV.
Yeah.
There's Mr. TV, and then so there's many channels that are actually putting content out there, basically, Cool. And they cover everything. It's not just specific. It's not just specifically for one group. So they put up pretty much everything, and then so. It's all there. I mean, some of these big channels, they're getting, their views are increasing quite a lot, specifically when certain topics are there. So, but what I'm saying, so for me, it's over a number of years, but certainly pre-2011, 2012, basically. But there wasn't just basically, I've always been interested in this topic from an educational point of view. So there wasn't just a kind of overnight. And certainly I would say to everybody, you need lengthy research, whether that be weeks, months, or years, to really go in depth in this, and then you realize,
Yeah,
and it's years. Yeah, and Roxanne, how about your experience? So,
well, I've said my experience before, but a couple of people in the chat room have asked me to share it again. So, I had my 2 kids. I had my first kid when I was 21. Had my second kid when I was about 25, 26. And after having my second kid, I was really more aware of my surroundings, my reality, if you will, and the questions I'd always had growing up that I'd subdued. I think, just like you said, you kind of are aware of things, but you don't really visit it in any way. You're too consumed with being overwhelmed with your job, your education,
daily life,
trying to
survive.
Daily life. So when I became a mum, I started to become more aware, and I went down various different rabbit holes. The first main one that I went down was Nibiru, and you can laugh me off the park if you want, but I always have had, I've always been spiritual. I was brought up religious. I've got a Catholic dad and a Protestant mum, so I was always brought up within religion. I knew that we had a creator, but I didn't buy into the different sections of religion. And one thing that always bugged me out was 1 BC. So when Nibiru came along, and I heard of the 3,600-year elliptical orbit, for me, that was the reset I was looking for. I suppose if you equate it to Neo, I was searching for some truth. I just didn't know what truth it was I was searching for, but I knew there was some truth to be found because I knew I smelled too much bullshit around me. I was smelling bullshit left, right, and center, but I couldn't find it. It was like, like if someone buried like a dead fish under your floor, and you're just constantly smelling it and you can't see it, but you know it's there. You know full well it's there. It's right in everything that you're doing. So Nibiru, I came across Nibiru, started studying different things to do with Sumerian culture. It led me down the Anunnaki road, which I kind of body swerved David Icke a little bit, ended up at Alex Jones, looking at FEMA camps, looking at fusion centres. Then I started looking at all the government things that were going in 9/11. That was a load of bullshit as well, but then that's another hangout.
That's another hangout, but I don't think we want to visit there. It's been visited so many times.
And then it's a funny thing happened on the way to the moon.
Great, fantastic documentary.
So it was just red pill after red pill after red pill after red pill. And then it was like, all of these lies and to cover up what, or to, you know, there was so many lies, but there was nothing like that was a foundational piece. So I felt like I was still searching. So for me, I'll just get back on track with Nibiru. The 3,600 year elliptical orbit did it for me at the time, because I've always had a question with 1 BC. Why 1 BC?
Yeah,
why walk around and say zero? Why are we saying 2018? Like, what is history?
Because other countries have different systems. Thailand, they have a different system.
History is written by the victors, whoever the winners are the ones that are writing the history books. I wonder if the winners from this era are going to put 200 proofs in the history books. Are they? Aren't they? Like, what is it going to be in 200, 300, 400 years time? What's going to be written for now? So I knew to an extent that all I knew was what I was taught. I don't know anything for myself. I just know everything that I've been taught up until now, everything I've been taught at school, everything that I've had to memorize.
It's a program, guys.
So I was watching a lot of content, and that brought me to probably, well, between 2012 and 2013, I would call that my stage of awakening, because I was watching a lot of content. One particular channel that led me to Flat Earth was Russian Vids. Yeah,
shout out to Russian Vids. Hi, guys.
Massive shout out to Russian Vids.
Brilliant work, brilliant. Things like anybody hasn't heard of Russian Vids, I mean, I would suggest to go and visit his channel.
He was like,
I think it's Russian Vids Archives now. Is it
Russian Vids Archives. He was like the one-stop shop for me for everything, absolutely everything. All the truth that I was searching for came from him at that time, because I was searching here and I was searching there, and then I found myself looking at his content going, oh, he's talking about that as well. Yeah, I wanted to know about that. And then one day he went, it's Flat Earth. And I was like, really? If it wasn't you, I'd have switched this off. Go on then, I'll listen. And then it was, don't take my word for it, look at, you know.
Like, yes.
You know, you're an idiot if you take my word for it, look into it for yourself. And then I went, oh, this is going to be a piece of cake. And this is going to be a letdown, because I like this guy, you know. This guy's giving me some truth. So when I prove him wrong, I'm really pissed off.
Yeah, genuine guy.
So there I was, Google searching, show me real images of Earth from space. Bang, Google search. Boom, images. Wait, that's a load of shit. That's
CGI. Cartoons.
Scroll down, page 2.
All the same.
And then flashbacks of school. And just, it's like your whole life just starts flashing before you. You start and going, no, I know what it is. I've done the key search wrong. So you start lying to yourself straight away, going, no, I need to go show me footage of Earth from space.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, the video should be there. Should be a 24-hour video.
Come on,
24 hours.
Let me see that 4K imaging from the moon. I'm going to see this beautiful ball that we live on spinning in space.
Nothing. CGI cartoons.
Okay. No, that's fine. I've got them this time.
Okay.
Show me rockets from space. Go on, just.
Oh, there must be, because they see rockets going from Florida.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Shit. Okay.
And they're going like this into the ocean, by the way.
Show me real images of satellites in space.
Oh, that's another one. Yeah.
Boom. No. Page 9. No. Page 10. No. Right, now I need a drink.
Okay. Yeah. And
that was it for a good while, until I confirmedly proved to myself that I wasn't on it. And it wasn't a Google search. I'm summarizing there. Trust me, I didn't just wake up with Google searches.
Yeah.
I did a long stage of research, and then had the uncomfortable task of waking up my family.
Yeah. Wow. Good. Yeah. Wow.
So.
And NASA, guys, is Disney for adults, because, and it's ironic because you see those so-called projection when the rocket takes off from Florida or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It basically does this, and it actually arcs and does that, and that is the logo of Disney with the little star on it. So basically, they're telling you, and then you see images of was it Pluto with cartoon characters.
I'm still at a loss why people actually believe that going up and down, that people think that's actually going over that is actually going out into space, and it's the Earth that's moving, that the Earth's spinning, and like it hasn't gone far enough. What are you talking about? It's just done that, and so many, and people kind of believe that.
And then the critical point is where they switch to CGI.
Well, they believe that the actual speed of this rocket, and you can see it going up ever so slowly. You know, like, and then they're telling us that it's doing these magical, you know, like speeds of thousands of miles per hour. When you can see like aeroplanes going so much more faster. Is it just me that am I seeing something totally different? I just don't get it. I really don't get it. You know.
And that point where they switch to CGI,
yeah,
where the rocket reaches its optimum, which is only a couple of 1,000 feet or whatever.
Yeah.
Doing the dip, and they say, right, now click in, and SpaceX does it as well. They all do the same trick. Switches to CGI, and then you get a cartoon for the next couple of hours, and then magically something happened there. Or if they're sending a rocket up with and then it's all CGI basically. They even then when they're taking up. Oh, I mean, that's another hangout. When they're supposedly going to the ISS. Come on, that's an hangout we should do.
Yes.
Because that is ridiculous. Now, if you look at my channel as well, you'll see that recently they've actually, done. Some guy went up there and he put his finger in the hole. Come on, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
If that was aluminium, the whole thing would crush.
I mean, that's it. Yeah, you only have to think on the reverse of that. What a submarine would do, if it was reversed. Like, because obviously you got pressures coming inwards, not outwards.
Yes.
Like, just think how critical that situation would be in a submarine, and like, oh, come on, guys, and they can't see it. Like this vacuum is probably about 100 times worse than a submarine underwater. And it's no big deal. Just stick your finger. Just do that. Come on, guys.
So so the other one was like, right, so really, because they're in the swimming pool basically. So if there was a hole in the so-called ISS, it would get flooded because the water would be coming in. Because you only have to look at the footage. All of the footage is done is basically in a swimming pool, and there's so much. John Thor did recently a video about that. See, in the visor of the so-called astronaut as he's doing a spacewalk, there was a guy with a camera with a wetsuit on. Come on, it's just there's so many. So obvious. There's so many, and then the bubbles in space. You don't get bubbles in space, of course. It's so obviously in the pool.
That's
so
right.
There's so many anomalies here. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's and the floppy door. It was like made out of like some plastic. You know what I mean? It's just
they need exposing. That's what they need. The criminals need exposing for the fraud.
It's just.
There's a famous one with there's a scuba tank, just going into the hatch, and I mean that's too obvious. You can see it's a scuba tank, a scuba guy.
Yeah, John's done some really good work about how they do it, which is basically harnesses. It's 3 layers. You've got the green screen, you've got the studio, and then you've got the the people on. Then you've got the AR, which is augmented reality. So you've got 3 layers there. They don't have to be in the same place, by the way. That can all be layered on. I'm familiar. Jason's probably familiar with this as well. And it can be up to 20 layers. Yeah. So they're doing all there's guys supposedly doing stuff, these little tricks, in space, and then they're glitching out, or the thing doesn't appear. So the actual layers aren't matching up. So it's obvious that they actually, it's all green screen, and they can do this. So it's like, well, look at movies, they do this as well. So it's, and then I think this week they were having, cocktails on the ISS with Hawaiian shirts. Look at my channel, I just put that up. So come on, they're mocking you. Come on, Hawaiian shirts and cocktails on the ISS.
Can I ask you guys a quick question? I'm going to ask you guys a quick question right now.
Okay.
I'm going to start with you, Dave.
Okay.
What has doing activism on the streets in a group done for you?
It's actually in a group. It's given that kind of dynamic, of actually having a group around you, like a speaker's corner as well. Because for example, I might have researched something, so I might have an answer, not an answer, but I might have done my due diligence on a certain point. And if somebody comes to me and they ask me, that's fine. I can basically talk about it with them. But if not, if I'm not familiar with that, I might say, hey, Jason, do you know about this? Or Harry, have you? And then we're going to have a chat with Harry, whatever. So you get the group dynamic, which is, in my opinion, it's almost like a forum where people they think it's more approachable to come to like a group dynamic than one person, especially when and also with this subject matter. When you've got 10, 15 people all talking about the same thing as Speaker's Corner, You know, come on. If it was one person, if it was, and it wasn't, or it was, not happen very often. But it's 15, 10, 15, 20 people.
Yeah.
Because the people that come along as well and also join in. So, and the people are saying, hang on, what do these guys? Where are they coming from? Because they all
last week we had at least over 50 people just standing and talking, and there's people that break off into groups.
Definitely.
And they stand in groups of like 6 to 10, and then they all mull it over, and then they come back into the mix and they get more information from us, and they go away and regurgitate it. Sometimes they go away after a coffee, have a sit down and absorb what we've said, and then come back and have
So the group dynamic is very helpful, because if you have like, a couple of people that, again, everybody can't, there might be some topics, you want to you discuss or whatever, but because you have a number of people.
It was great having Dave Marsh there. He was able to answer so many questions.
Dave Marsh and
about the moon. I
yes,
can't answer
exactly, because he's done all. Dave Marsh has really focused on the moon, so
massively.
That's his area of expertise.
His
expertise.
So many fields as well.
But
he was there helping other people out.
Yeah,
that was crazy. He was going to like other plots and like where he had information that could help them say what they needed to say.
Yeah.
There was people talking about your rights with the police and stuff like that. And there was a lot of trolls standing around that person that was, being an activist for that. And he stepped in and helped out. And that's that kind of feeling is a little bit like it is with us, because people are coming over from other arguments over there, and they're waking up and then arguing on behalf of this truth as well.
So I'd recommend it to anybody who's asked the question or in the chat there. Recommend it. It's good if you can get it with a few other, other people, basically to do it. But it just, I would say it's just, like I said, I did consider it 2 years ago to do it. And I didn't, at that point, it was just because you get a lot of, it's one thing I have to say to guys that have never been to speak, so it's very intense, because you get a lot of groups there, and it's quite an intense environment. Not tense, intense. So you get people who really like debating, and there's people there that have been doing it for a long time. So you really also, you have to know your stuff as well, because they'll come and have, really question you on things. So, and I'm not talking about trolls here, I'm talking about people who are really genuinely interested, So the thing is, like, I did consider that, and probably I would have done it if this hadn't happened. But it's just having this group, it's just become easier to do it, or, and to be more accessible for people to approach you and for you to approach other people, because of course, you've got the banners. So you've got the banners, we've got multiple banners or whatever. If you're on your own and you don't have banners, it's a tough gig, the real tough gig. So I would say anybody who's willing to, wants to do this, get yourself some banners, get yourself a medium to, like a bridge to the public, and then go out in a small group. It doesn't have to be like our group. I mean, this group is quite big now and growing, but it's 2 or 3 people, 1 or 2 even, because there's guys, I think Zoom Truth, he's doing it in New York, is it?
Yeah.
There's a guy, I think Flat Earth Dude is doing it in Hollywood.
Yeah.
He does good stuff as well. Shout out to those guys. Yeah, there's a lot of people doing it now, and it's actually, you'd be surprised, because we've had people coming up to us and say, can you come and do this, where they are, basically. So, they can also do it themselves, but we've had, people coming up and say, hey, we'd like to have this in our town, so it's quite, I would say, it's more, I think it's more for this kind of thing that we're actually debating. It's better to do in a group. That's my own opinion. Others may differ. So yeah.
What about you, Jason?
Yeah, I kind of I originally went out with Harry. I think this was at Bournemouth. I didn't really have a lot of confidence to speak about this subject, and possibly a little bit embarrassed by back then as well, when I was first starting out. I really didn't know, because one thing, having just starting to come into Flat Earth and having starting to believe it yourself, you're still doubting yourself and thinking, am I bloody crazy? And so to have that confidence and start interacting with people and talking to people, I struggled at first, and I watched silently and watched everybody else interacting. There was about 20 of us when we first, went out, and I just watched, and I just couldn't bring myself to talk to anybody. And then Harry invited me along to Bostock. with Plane Ranger Scott, and then when I went with them, I thought, you know, like I thought just going to throw myself in there and then get stuck in, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it was amazing. But I was still in that at the confines of a group, and it just gives you it gives you a hell of a boost of confidence, because you're with like-minded people, and you know, you can count on them for something, you know, like. But I agree that yes, you know, like get out there with a group or something and all that. But I still think that if you can muster the courage to get out there on your own, even if it's just for the once and that, you can do this day in, day out, you know, like and do any group. So I forced myself to a book I read years and years ago called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. And I had that in my head, and as I was setting up my banner that's behind you, you know, when I first made it all, and I was doing it's about 4 or 5 miles away from where I live, and as I was setting it all up, I'm telling you, I was petrified. I was really petrified, and I was trying to remember and think of everything that I've learned, and you know, and who and what was going to happen. Am I going to be ridiculed? And I was thinking of every negative scenario on the planet on the plane. I think back then I thought it was the planet as well. Anyway, yeah, I was thinking of every scenario, you know, like of anyone was it approaching me. And the first group of people that approached me were all flat earthers. and then my day was so easy. It was just an easy day. And I know what you're saying, because I've become very lazy now. I almost can't be bothered to go out on my own. I like the comfort and confines.
I'm not saying you can't do it on your own, though. You can do it on your own.
No, but I like going out with other people. I just find it so easy, and it gives me so much confidence. I don't worry about anything. You know, like I just like to, I just like to be out there with someone, anyone. You know, like moral support. I like it.
Yeah, and you can basically during the day you can have a chat. You can make it a social event. You can chat about stuff. So you know, it's you know, it's a social event as well. Not only are you interacting with the public, you're interacting with, you know, like-minded people and people who are interested in the same topics. So
yeah.
How about
for me?
Yeah.
For me, I went out on my own quite a lot before even making content. I was having human interactions probably from about 2016, proper human interactions. Towards the end of 2017, I was just going out and trying to hold my hands to people, just let them slow down enough. I would linger in coffee shops, not like stalking, but oh wow, we've got another guest. Hi D.Marble, thank you so much for joining us, my darling.
Hi everyone, how's it going?
Hey buddy.
Thank you. Hi, we're just having a little chat about flat earth, global and everything that goes into it. We're just talking about going out and doing activism, and even just having real life human interactions, which I believe you were just doing outside your van, weren't you?
Yeah. I'm relaxing at a park right now. I was just writing some things down. I'm kind of working on a couple projects. Don't want to talk too much about them, but yeah, there was a lady. She walked by, and I heard her like murmuring something. She's like, "Water does curve."
Right, well, we're gonna have a few technical difficulties. It's just glitching, but carry on talking, D.Marble.
Yeah, no, it's just that no, the lady, she seemed upset when she read the side of my van. You know, my van's a flat earth billboard, so you know, she just yeah, it's what I do.
That's it. Full ratings to that.
Thank you. And you know, she had some questions, and you know, I kind of yelled out the window because I knew she would be walking back through here. She's like, water does curve. I'm like, no, it doesn't. He's like, yes, it does. I'm like, you can't prove it. I'm just kind of messing with her, and she comes back through.
I don't see anybody just coming out of the van.
Yeah, right. It's like she couldn't see me. The windows are tinted, so I just kind of, you know, shout out of the window, and she was talking loud enough for me to hear, so you know, it's all good. So I jumped out and we had a short conversation, and she was more receptive once I got out and chatted with her. She sat on the curb. I pulled out a little chair, and I was just, pulled out my little models. He's like, okay, so explain seasons. Well, if you look at this, look at this is how the Earth may be. Okay, I'm not saying this is officially how it is, but I went to Alaska and I know that the sun makes a clockwise circuit around the North Pole. Break that down, and then I pulled out my jug of water, and I just set this next to it, like, all the blue on this thing is supposed to be water, right? You see how the surface is flat right there, how it kind of measures up. I'm just kind of messing with her. This is red pill and stuff. This is easy. It's easy.
Yeah. Can I ask a question? Do you, because you got flat Earth on your van and that, do you get any bother with it? Do people want to shake the van? Or,
Yeah. I get people screaming at me every now and then. I had a couple old ladies flip me off. There's generally just people screaming, "Gravity, idiot!" I mean, the same stuff that we would get online. It's just that they feel safe because they're in their car and we're passing in traffic. But once I get out and I actually engage these people, they're a lot more calm, a little more receptive. So, the face-to-face interaction is always preferable because, I mean, it just kind of gets people away from that idea of being a cyber bully, because people put this persona on when they're behind a keyboard typing comments. But once you're face-to-face, people are usually a little bit more respectful.
You're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. Yeah, we're always going to have the old rotten tomato scenario where people are going to throw rotten tomatoes verbally at us. But I think, given the magnitude of the subject we're talking about, I think it's a kind of foregone conclusion that, out of 10 people, some people are just going to throw up when you tell them they've been lied to.
Right.
But what I really want to stress on is the human interaction. What's brilliant here is we've got people that do group activism on a regular, but you know what? D.Marble, am I right in thinking you've linked up with some people though, haven't you? You've done the Flat Earth conference. Am I right in thinking that even you and Flat Earth Fokker have linked up as well, right?
Yeah, he's come through town a couple times, yeah.
Yeah, so can I ask you, from having individual interactions with people and I'm gonna call it red pilling people, because Jason and Harry, and you know what, thank you so much to your donation. A massive thank you to you. Serious. And
you're welcome.
Thank you to giving us a shout out on your live the other day. That was massive.
No problem.
Respect to you for that. But you Jason, you're about to kind of have a kind of
Nope, you broke up for us, Roxanne. Can you repeat, Roxanne? I didn't hear that bit.
You and Harry are going to get in a motorhome for 2 months, 8 weeks, and go to 56 locations in 8 weeks, living in the vehicle that you're red pilling in. I just want you to let D.Marble know, and the chat room know, and everybody know what you plan to do. You are going to be red pilling in the actual vehicle. The vehicle will be a moving red pill, won't it?
Yeah, that's right. We're going to. I was asking about the fan shaking and things, because we're going to signpost it a little, not too much.
Yeah.
So we're going to put a few stickers and things on it, and when we go around to all of these cities and towns and that, as it's 56 locations, and it's a much bigger van than yours, and so thank God, because I've got to share this with there's two big guys getting in this van, and we don't want a small van.
Right.
If I was going to do it on my own, yeah, I could manage a van your size, and I so much respect for you. Like the fact that how long have you done this? It's like a couple of years now, is it?
It's been about 1.5 years now.
1.5. Oh, so much respect, because
do you do cross-country tours? Sorry, I'm going to ask you a question. Do you do cross-country tours? Do you do like
no? I work in the local area, and I just find places to park, different places every night.
Well, we'll let you know how all this goes on, and maybe you can get time off, and then you can go for it, and what's it? Do a flat smack tour.
Yeah, there's gonna come a point where either I don't need my job anymore, or my job doesn't need me anymore, and that'll probably be when I do a tour, if any. and you know, make my way back down south, maybe to my hometown. We'll see.
Yeah, well, I think you said a while ago that you've been putting some pennies aside, you know, like a while back, I think, in one of your videos. So when that day comes, you can just go, can't you? And like, and just I love the idea. You know, like if I didn't have family, wife, kids, and all that, I would live off grid in a second. You know, like I'd love to.
I've actually spent some time in the States, so I'm familiar with the States, and it's one of the best places to do road trips.
Yeah,
it's amazing. I've actually done road trips across country myself, and then East Coast and West Coast, and just the scenery is amazing. The scenery is fantastic, and then also the landscapes and the vastness of it, and then it's just, I mean, the national parks are wonderful. In the Grand Canyon, wow. I mean, you can actually, if you're basically in a van, you could actually live in a van full time and just move from place to place. When you actually go cross country there, you can appreciate that we live on a flat plane. It's it's so obvious because there's stretches of highway there that are just completely flat for never ending for it's almost for 80 miles or whatever. It's just, and you just see in the distance. Wow. Amazing. I mean, amazing scenery. Fantastic. Especially, I spent a lot of time in Arizona and then Nevada. So I was on the West Coast quite a bit, and then on the East Coast as well. So I'm quite familiar. Whereabouts are you?
I'm in the Northwest. I'm in Washington State.
All right. So you're up there near to the border and
Yeah, pretty close to the Canadian border, about maybe, I'll say maybe 100 miles or so. Probably less, but,
Beautiful scenery. Mountain peaks, mountains up there as well. Yeah,
there's a mountain not too far from here, maybe 50 miles away. It's Mount Rainier, and you can see it from pretty much anywhere in Washington. That's another one of those flat Earth clues.
Do you have any plans of touring Canada as well? Because they've got fantastic scenery as well.
Maybe next summer. It's starting to get cold up there, man. The sun's starting to circle, further towards the outer hemiplane.
And all that makes perfect sense, doesn't it? When we know this and that it's circling around further out now, it makes perfect sense. These are our systems. Yeah,
it's true. It's true. And that was something I had to go see for myself, because I mean, we'd all seen. I figure a lot of us had already seen the one video of the midnight sun where you could see the cameras just kind of making a straight 360, and you see the sun go up, and you see the sun go down.
That was the Norwegian one.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was that one. That one was a lot closer to the center than I was able to get for my trip, but I wanted to go check it out, just to see what it was. And sure enough, at about 13, maybe to 15 hours, the sun's at this position in the sky when we start recording, and then 12 hours later it's back here.
Yeah.
And then, a few hours later, I see it starting to move right back around to where it started out. And I mean, my mind was blown, seriously, because we're seeing that in real time.
Yeah, so there's lots of evidence for this. I mean, there's lots of people coming out and putting their videos up of this 24-hour midnight sun and that. But again, Antarctica, where is this midnight sun? That should be a done deal. I mean, they could all shut us up and why can't we see it? We could see, they show us a bit of a 24-hour daylight, and their false flag shadows.
Yeah. I've seen that. There have been people telling me that, okay, you went to Alaska, you went that, well, this works on the globe, so you really didn't prove anything. So what you need to do is go to, let me see, what part of Argentina? I don't even know. Basically some part of South America, and film the 24-hour sun there. Because that works on a globe, and they're like, yeah, go back there in 6 months on winter solstice and see what happens. I'm like, I already know it's going to be dark in Alaska during that time. I may go to South America. I may go to, some southern tip of Australia or something. You don't know what I'm going to do. All right.
Can I just give a shout out? There's a guy not involved in this, but there's a guy actually did a tour on a bicycle from the Arctic all the way down to the tip of Argentina, and he actually he did the Arctic and Canada in the winter on a bicycle. So if I can remember the guy, he's a Hungarian guy, but he lives in Canada, and he's an avid cyclist. So this is all by pedal power, and he just likes to get out there on the beaten track. And it's Igor Grigorev, I think. But if you look on a video called North to South, and you'll see, and he's retraced his steps, and he's gone. I think he's in South America at the moment, but he's got really nice editing skills, and also now he does nice soundtracks as well. So he really puts a lot of effort into his channel. And if anybody's interested in checking out, the basically the routes that he took, or the different terrains along the routes that he took, it's definitely worth a look, because he's got a really nice channel and amazing. I mean, this guy. Imagine going through the Arctic on a bicycle in winter. That's nuts. That's incredible. So yeah, I mean, check his channel. So yeah, North to South is the video, and then Grigorev is his name, is channel name.
I've got a quick question. It's a bit of a random one, but I feel it's an important one for the viewers watching. I'm wondering if I can start with I'll even start with you, Jason. Can I ask why does the truth about the bull lie matter to you? Why does it matter to you?
Why does it matter to me? It is a tough one, because there's a lot of cliches to it all now. Should I say? I think a lot of us have been trying to say what people want to hear. And I've tried to stay away from that, and I think that shifts all the time. It isn't an answer that's that's concrete, because my thoughts have shifted over it. I think I was cliche in saying it matters because of starving kids around the world, and NASA spending £53 million a day. It matters. These are kind of like, although these are very
like pretty much generic answers.
They are, but then it isn't my answer, But I was when people ask me this out on the streets when I'm doing my activism, these are the answers that I come up with, and I'm not really being that truthful, to myself, It matters to me because nearly all my life, I when I've started out, as a young chap, when I was 17, 18. As a youngster, I wanted to devote my life into helping the homeless. I was so interested in helping the homeless, and I wasn't interested in business, money.
On a social level,
So I wasn't interested in any of that, that's what I wanted to do. And then recently, someone that I know who owns a local newspaper here, he asked me and turned around and said, that I don't stand for anything, that I don't really care what the community gets involved in, what's going on in the community or what's happening in politics, because we were having conversations about this sort of stuff and all that, and it really bugged me. It bugged the hell out of me, the fact that he was kind of right. Somewhere along my life, I've wanted to go out and help the homeless and that, and then I got tied into the job and family and striving for more and wanting more for me, family and that, and now for me, knowing that I've been lied to all my life, I feel like this is my first time in my life that I've felt that I stand for something now. I stand for something so important, more important than any other thing that has ever gone in our existence. This lie is so big. It's the biggest thing that's ever happened in all of our existences, as far as I'm concerned. It isn't a cliche now. For what I feel, it's just the very notion that the whole of mankind has been lied to. And I actually feel, I know this is another cliche and all that, but I kind of feel like that we are all bloody slaves. We are slaves to this system, peasants, whatever you want to call it. I feel like that. And I just feel like when I used to watch TV and watch these Romans and slaves and and I used to think, why don't they just all get together and come together and stand up? What's wrong with these people and all that? But that's us, we just don't. We just don't all club together. We don't. None of us are breaking this cycle. So now, yeah, why does it matter? Why does it matter to me? I stand for something, and I stand for something that is bigger than myself. That's why it matters for me.
Yeah.
Awesome. D.Marble, why does the ball lie matter to you so much?
I mean, just along the same lines as what Jason was saying. You know, the idea that we've all been brought up in this system to believe something that is patently false. I mean, if people lie to you, if somebody lies to you as an individual, you know that person is trying to change the way that you perceive them or whatever situation they're lying about. And they're lying to us about where we are. Like, we're going to exist here for our whole lives. And the fact that we don't know where we are, you know, and a lot of people have come and gone, been born, lived their life, and died in complete illusion.
Yeah.
And that bugs me. That bugs me that people are walking around not knowing where they are. And I mean, just like Jason said, you know, I feel a sense of purpose because this is a huge thing. This may be this may very well be the biggest thing that is necessary to expose, because this one kind of opens the door to every other situation, because the general population, they're just going along with their lives. You know, they know that something's wrong, but they don't know exactly what it is, can't put their finger on it. Or I'll use myself as an example. You know, when I was you know, before I got into any so-called conspiracy theories, I mean, I was looking into nothing. Just going along with my life and just wondering why things weren't getting better, why, you know, these smart people that have made themselves into politicians, why they aren't fixing anything, why things constantly keep getting worse. So I got out of the Army. I started looking into 9/11. I realized that the government, you know, they kind of set up this whole situation where they sacrifice these people and, you know, wanted to push these laws and legislation to take away more of our rights, to lead us towards this dystopian society where we're constantly surveilled, where it's a police state leading us into constant wars. But figuring that out about the government took a while, because I had just gotten finished so-called serving the country, serving the government. And you know, I had to come to grips with the fact that the people that run government are capable of, you know, that they're not good people. They're not. And, you know, that's generally the feeling that most of the population has, that are, you know, still sleepwalking, I believe. I think they, you know, hey, these politicians, they, you know, they make mistakes, and it's just, they can't get these laws passed because, you know, this other party is obstructing them, but both parties work for the same people. And that's why nothing ever improves. Yeah. So knowing that these people are corrupt, and knowing that these different agencies have deceived us in these different situations, like we know the CIA uses assets to start these illegal wars. We know that the FBI and the NSA are, you know, basically keeping tabs on everyone in the U.S. They have these huge databases where they're collecting our information.
You did a video. What was the video? That video, that girl that came out and spoke out. What was her name? You know, the girl that came out in the news.
Oh yeah. Allison Mack, I believe it was. She.
That's not like some conspiracy. That crap is going on, and Dave was talking about that whole scenario earlier on, and like that's real. That's like really. I know people don't talk about it on YouTube very much, but it all goes part and parcel. As soon as you reverse engineer everything and reverse it all the way to the top, it still goes to the same deceptors and liars that are covering up where all of this money is going, why we can't go past the 60th parallel. It's all about the lie about who we are, the lie about where we are, and the lie about why we're here.
Yeah.
And the system is stagnating. The system is stagnating. There's, you know, it's not moving along. It's just,
What do you all think collectively? I'll to let you finish up, I'll start with you again. What do you think it's going to take to help push forward in exposing these criminal liars? Like, do you feel it's going to take more of what's happening already, getting out there onto the streets, having human interactions? Do you feel like it's going to take, you know, more than that? What's it going to take? And while you answer, I'm just going to go to the ladies' room real quick.
So I think that basically there's going to be not necessarily a push from, you know, a certain angle or whatever. I think things are going to happen. There's going to be almost like a knock-on effect, you know, like an evolution kind of thing, an evolution of the situation. Like I said, things are quite stagnant at the moment. And things don't seem to be moving along, you know, on a geopolitical point basically. But, you know, I think there maybe we reach a point where things are just going to happen anyway. Like I was talking about nature earlier on, you know, if we still keep abusing nature, there comes a tipping point, and nature will take care basically of that. So even in these situations we have now, things may just happen. There might be you know, worldwide, but things may happen randomly. But you know, it'll just happen. It'll be a natural evolution of things. You know, you know, basically getting back to the point. You know, with the the political system. You know, the political system. It's the same. You know, it's the same. Two sides of the same coin, basically. You know, there's now predicting that who's going to be the next president of the US, you know, and then Kanye West running in, you know, 4 years after that. So this is a rigged system. These you know, these politicians are selected, they come and go. You know, it's all a system that's been there and not going to change. You know, it's just basic. And if anybody's interested, it looks like Oprah Winfrey's going to be the next president. I'll just put that there. You know, so
I hope not.
Yeah, that's just, I mean, you can just read between the lines of, you know, different things on the internet, but, you know, so that is not going to change. But what I'm saying that from a natural point of view, things might happen, you know, there might be more natural disasters. There might be, you know, we live in a very fragile system. You know, it's basically 3 days from, as I was saying before, from factory to, from farm to the supermarket. Now, what if the internet goes down? What if the electricity system goes down? What if any of this, you know, we're going back to basics, basically, you know? So you can't rely on, and certainly can't rely on authorities to keep things moving, you know, because they're not taking care of your interests. All they do is take taxes, and you know, it's their system. So, you know, I would suggest, you know, look into alternative lifestyles, and certainly sustainable lifestyles. You know, that's what, you know, I would certainly recommend to anyone. Yeah. But you know, yeah, I'm saying the system we live in now is stagnating, not moving along. It's not, you know, it seems to be in a stagnation period right now. You know, it's my point of view.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh no, that I agree. I absolutely agree. And you know, as far as technology goes, I mean, there are so many different ways that things could be a lot better than they are these days. You know, I was listening to one video. I'm usually pretty busy when I'm listening to these things. Somebody, I believe it was D.Marble, was having a talk with Joe Rogan as far as improvements that were made. Like Henry Ford had designed a car that could run off of oil, or you know, oil as it were, because the Rockefellers, they kind of cornered the oil market, so it could run off of oil. Something called gasohol. There was a sort of way that Henry Ford set up the engine to where it could run off of extract from fermented fruits and vegetables. Like if there's a plant that ferments, you can extract alcohol from it and run your vehicle from that. You know, there, and I believe there was another operation that could switch to electric. So that technology was available like 100 years ago. Yeah. So the idea that we're still using these gasoline powered vehicles, it makes absolutely no sense.
We should be way more advanced than we are now. We should be way ahead. We should be way more advanced, and we have the access to, you know, to technologies that could, you know, push us, you know, further. The power, you know, the corporations, whatever, they want to keep using oil, etc., and just keep that same system perpetuated. But what I'm saying, pollution-wise and all of that, there might be a tipping point. Yeah.
One of the greatest scams ever is the patents office. It's kind of like I strongly believe that if no one is using a particular invention within, say, 10 years or something, it should be released to the world. You know, like if you're not making use of it, then, you know, it should be out there, released to the world. I understand that, you know, like, look, you know, if you invent something tomorrow, then you should have every right and then every benefits that it's something that you invented. Otherwise, we wouldn't have creative people, you know, like that want to invent things, you know, like. But if you're not gonna use it, and you know, like, because I believe, like, even like, you know, cancer treatments and all sorts, it's all out there. It's all, you know, like, every known sort of disease and all that, all curable. Everything's all curable. I'm convinced on it all, 100%. But everything's suppressed. Everything's all hidden away. Everything,
profit
inventions, they're all bought, they're all tied up, locked away, and you don't get to use any of it. Yeah, it's one of the greatest scams ever. The Patent Office. It needs abolishing. It does, or overhauling.
Definitely.
Yeah, and of course, when the more the technology advances, then it picks up pace like exponentially. So, you know, and it is, you know, basically Moore's law. I don't know whether anybody's familiar with Moore's law.
Everything, is it 3 years or something?
Basically every year it basically it increases exponentially. It's not about the CPU. He talked about the processing speed of computers. Yeah. So basically, it's exponential to become 4, 8, 15, you know, 32, 64, 100, like, just goes on like that. So processing power, you know, also with quantum computing now, so things are getting really ramped up with that. But what I'm saying, on a day-to-day level, we should have access to technology which is keeping the same pace as, you know, computing speed, basically. And it will come. I mean, eventually come. But in my opinion, things are quite slow. You know, even though we have I think the next big push is, we can talk about that another time as well, as 5G. Things are really going to ramp up from that, you know. And so, you know, it seems to be yet that, you know, things are held back because of, you know, they want profit. Like, for example, we don't really need to use oil. We don't need to use that base now. We can use other, I mean, it's coming in slowly, electric and whatever. But I'm saying, for, you know, along with technology, then we are, basically, you know. So, I don't know what you think about that. Have you got any opinion about that?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay.
No. I was just about to say, no, I agree. Everything that you kind of, you know, just said there. You know, like, I don't really think I've got that much more to add on that. Yeah.
Yeah. Just saying. Yeah. Just getting back to the. I think we were going to talk about the Joe Rogan. Yeah. What, did you guys see the interview with Elon Musk? Did you catch that?
Oh no, I saw a part of it. I saw the part where where Elon lights up the big joint. I saw that part. That was about it.
Yeah, no, I've seen where he was talking about the flat Earth part, and he just kind of he brushes it off, you know, as though it's nothing. You know, he kind of makes very light news of it. He's not. It looked as though he's not really interested, but you know, like, yeah.
Yeah, I did put something up on my channel as well, because it just seemed quite scripted, in my opinion. So,
I didn't. I thought that he was kind of like just not interested. That's what it came across to me.
You mean Elon Musk?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
also Joe Rogan, that was well scripted, you know, all of that, but then that would have been.
Yeah, just the introduction and the way he was, you know, what he was coming from, you know. It just seemed that the whole thing was scripted, and of course edited, you know, and they put it out there, you know. Yeah. You know, this idea that Elon's going to start, you know, putting, you know, these tunnels under Los Angeles, which is prone to earthquakes, is just ridiculous, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's an accident waiting to happen, basically, you know.
Yeah.
So, but again, it's funding, and it's you know, it all seems to be the same shenanigans, SpaceX, you know. So
anyway, so I wanted to quickly just mention where I think this is all leading to, what the next sort of steps are. I kind of think that we have this big fear about talking about money in the flat Earth community. It seems to be, you know, I said it in one of the recent promo video, that it's frowned upon about talking about money, and I see that we've got this huge problem here that, you know, like science is spending trillions, trillions and trillions against proving that this that we live on a round globe Earth. They're spending trillions, and every time that we talk about money, you know, like it's frowned upon, and it's shielded to death. You know, like from people that are trying to bring it down and say, oh, you shouldn't be making, you know, like what's it, £2 profit, $2 profit from a mug or something. Yeah. You know, like, and and the thing is, but it's kind of people like yourself, you know, you're going out there. Well, all of us, we're all going out there, and we're spreading as much of this truth as possible that we can, and I don't want to make any money out of Flat Earth. I don't need to make any money out of Flat Earth. But what I do see is that I feel like that, you know, like things like how many billboards have you got going in America now? I mean, like I think you had about you seem to have one every sort of 2 or 3 months springing up somewhere, and that. But people have to put their hands in their pockets to pay for these billboards. You know, like. Funds need to be created, and every time that you mention money, you know, like to get some sort of awareness, and that it is so frowned upon, you know, like and I think our biggest problem in Flat Earth right now, and why it's so slow in taking off, is the fact that we've got no money. You know, like we've got so many bright people that have got so many great ideas, and they're sat at home looking at the ceiling, twiddling the thumbs, thinking, well, I've got no money to do anything. And, you know, like, I mean, I've had loads of experiments I'd love to do and all that, but, you know, like, I'd have to beg the missus, you know, like for, you know, like for money for a new P1000 now, P1000.
£1,000, aren't they?
Yeah. What I'm saying is that, you know, like me personally, I've got lots of experiments I want to do. I've got lots of drive, lots of I want to devote myself in exposing this lie and all that. And sometimes I'm sat at home looking at the ceiling, twiddling my thumbs, and so how is that going to help anybody? I mean, like the only way that this is going to move forward is we have to stop fearing that someone somewhere has made £5 from a bloody t-shirt. Who cares? We know, like we kind of like we need to move forward, and it amounts to getting ads on the TV, on the idiot box. We need to get ads on the TV box where we're paying for an ad, the Flat Earth community, and it says, you know, like, you know, we're talking about Flat Earth, you know, like. We need money for this. You know, again, the science establishment and NASA and all that. We're not we talk about on the street, you know, 53 million pounds per day. That's rubbish. They're getting trillions. The whole science organization throughout the world, you know, like to throw this globe in our face and that. It needs money to expose all of it. That's the only way that I see that this going forward. We're doing our activism, we're doing our bit, but it's going to be a slow. It's a slow walk.
Yeah,
and it's working. You know, like you know, like this year I can kind of see it better. But for you guys that have been out, you know, like doing this for 3 years, 4 years, and that, and I think, oh my God, I'm only at this stage. Oh, I'd be pulling my hair out. I've only been, you know, a Flat Earther for a year, just over a year, and you know, I want this over and done with by next year, so I can get on with my life. You know, I want it all done and out and exposed. It needs money. We got to stop fearing who's making money on a bloody t-shirt. It needs to move forward.
Yeah, totally.
I agree.
You know, when you look at it like that, right? People are doing what they're doing anyway. Sorry, I'm just doing up my shoelace. People are doing what they're doing anyway, right? So you've got people out there buying professional equipment to take long distance photographs, to take footage, to do experiments. So people are doing what they're doing, but how many people realistically have got like masses of disposable income? Realistically speaking,
that's it.
Not many people. So you know, that being said, if someone's got a P900, they already take great pictures, and they want to get another P900 because they've already given a lot to the community information-wise, and they want to up their game, and they want to do that without making profit. They're going to be completely transparent about that, and I'm all for that. And I think activism is just the same. I think, you know, if you know, you know, D.Marble, you're a great example, right? See how you're out on the road, you're dropping red pills, you're doing bits and pieces for the community. So if you were trying to do something that ordinarily would be just beyond your reach of doing, then I would expect the community to get behind you so that you can carry on doing what you're doing, but do it even better than you're already doing. It's a no-brainer to me. Like, if we can't do that amongst ourselves, then in our generation, please someone tell me how far we're looking to get. Because I'll tell you why this matters to me. I'll tell you why this matters to me. I brought children into this godforsaken life. I brought kids into it. So after I've gone, if nothing is going to carry on being done about this, my great-grandkids, my grandkids after that, those grandkids, they're just going to keep getting born into the lie. And it's just going to be a vicious circle and round and around. How many of us can name our grandmothers 4 or 5 grandmas back? Tell you what I can do. Off the top of my head, I can name like 2 or 3 of them. One day, I'm going to be that grandma that can't be named. Family. And what will I have given them? Would I have given them a baton that they held? Or did I give them a baton that got dropped?
Yeah.
If I gave them a baton that got dropped, then my life's gone in vain. Like, all of it. I don't even know why I bothered. Because what's it all for?
Good point.
I don't expect to find out all of these things in my lifetime. Yeah. I really do expect to try and go some way in trying to do my bit for my family, for my little offspring, so that they can do the same for theirs. I hope to see it in my lifetime, but if I can't, that's why I'm doing it, because I brought kids into this.
You asked about why the globe, why it matters. It matters because that's the very foundation. It's almost like when you build a house.
I was stretching my legs.
Yeah, me too. I'm just having a little break, trying to stretch a bit as well. But it's like, if you have a house, when you build a house, you've got to have solid foundations. So that is the foundation. If you have false foundations or shaky foundations, or, basically the whole house is going to come down. Yeah. And this is what is happening as well, because it seems that the whole house is coming down because you found the foundation is a, yeah. So you can't build on anything that's a lie, and that's why it's important. The gentleman asked in the chat there, why is it important? It's important because the very foundation of where you live, that is the foundation of your life, basically. And if you have a false foundation, anything that's built upon that is very, very shaky. And you notice now it's starting to crumble a little bit as well. So that was a very good question that the guy had. That's just, I'm sorry, I'm just using an analogy with a house. It's but to build something that's that's false, or to build on something that's already, which is a lie, it's just creating more and more lies.
I think so as a community, we've got to help each other build on that, though. We've really got to help each other build this to get it out. And I think that community, it has to see the divisions of us and them and we and them. It has to stop. Like, we're all
definitely.
We all come from different backgrounds, different creeds, different cultures, different communities, but collectively we know a truth that is, like you guys have previously said, it is the biggest thing that's going on in my lifetime.
So guys, I'm just my channel. I'm just going to shut this down now. We're going to, if you want to move over to Roxanne and Glenn's channel, it'll continue there, okay? Because it's gone quite long.
So Dave's just streaming this live on his channel as well. It's the biggest one. The biggest one ever told. Where, why, and who. Where. So for me, what are we doing if we're not telling people that they've been lied to in some form or manner? If you're not telling people they didn't go to the moons, if you're not telling them that space is fake, if you're not telling them that they're not on a ball. Yeah.
And then for kids as well, they're being educated into the system. You're starting off with a false pretense as well. So, basically, you tell, basically using a false pretense, that's the model. And then they're just expanding on that. So I'm from an education standpoint as a teacher, basically, as well. And as saying that, we need to reevaluate our education system. And we need to start teaching our kids, honestly. And not brainwashing them with lies. That's, we need to change this, we need to change this, how we educate kids, because, they're actually going on the internet these days and actually educating themselves more so than go, you know, what they, you know, obviously they go through the process in school, but they've actually started to educate themselves and they come to their own conclusions, which I think is a great move. So, but we need to evaluate this and you know, antiquated system of education. So,
well, I wish I could get my kids on the internet, but no, they're more interested in that bloody daft idiot Xbox.
wow,
can't get them off it.
Like a hamster wheel.
Like a hamster wheel, yeah.
Really. So I'm going to start wrapping it up soon, but I'm going to leave everyone with their last thoughts. I'm going to pass it over to you, D.Marble. I'm going to leave it with you to say for you where you're at with this at the moment, and where you see things being in, let's say, something feasible like 6 months.
Well, I'd like to think that, well, from what I can see, there's a pretty rapid expansion of the flat Earth awakening. There's a lot more people, from what I can tell, that are waking up every day. Whereas maybe a year ago, maybe even 6 months ago, when you would talk to someone about flat Earth, there would be a degree of hesitancy on their part, and you know, there will be ridicule first off, a little mockery. Maybe they'll, oh no, that's silly. Nowadays, when you talk to somebody about flat Earth, at least for me, they're like, yeah, I heard about that. They're like, more people are hearing about it because of social media, and so we're able to use the internet to our advantage in this thing. So I'm optimistic about where we can be 6 months from now. I started the year by saying that 2018 was the year that we're all going to figure out that the Earth is flat, and I meant that. And even if that means that I have to go prove it myself in different ways, that's what I mean. So I'll go do it. I got more things I want to put together. I'm just picked up my new laser a couple days ago, 5,000 milliwatt. This has an 18-mile range on it, actually.
Wow, that's amazing for a handheld device. 18 miles.
18 miles. Oh yeah, 5 watts. It's like a lightsaber.
Do you have a receptor on the other? Something to, you know, like a. Yep.
Well, first off, you have to have a key to actually turn it on. Wow. So there's that, and then once you all right, here, want a demonstration? Is that okay?
Yeah, cool.
All right, just a sec. Let me grab the goggles, because if you don't have goggles with this thing, you might. I mean, you can damage your eyes, seriously. Okay, so all right. So let me see now. I grab this piece of cardboard here. And where's this laser? First, I got to get the key, turn this thing on.
You have to see how cool he is, haven't you? He's not just cool by himself, but he has to have cool glasses as well.
All right, so the laser's on now. Click her on. All right, so now we have this little piece here. Now I'm going to hit the button, and
wow, that's strong.
And then it starts to burn in seconds easily. You put a hole in it just that quick.
How's that powered? Sorry, how is that powered?
Oh, there are batteries. There are rechargeable batteries. 2 rechargeable batteries that fit into it. You can adjust the beam with this little. You can twist this part here to get the beam to adjust.
Have you done any experiments with it?
Not yet. I mean, there was the one laser test we did, back in July. I believe it was July. I could be wrong. Or was it August? It was August. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, back in August. I can't even remember when we did it. August 6th. So we did that one. That was 10.3 miles. That was the one laser test. What we're going to do next time, the plan is to he's going to fire his laser in my direction, because he still has a laser that has a 12-mile range. I'll fire my laser into his direction at the same time, and then we have another added added toy that we're going to play with the whole situation. But I don't want to spill all the beans here. You'll see when I get it out, though.
We'll check that online. Yeah, cool, man. Cool, very cool.
It'll be fun. So the idea is to what I'm trying to do is encourage people to just do their own experiments. You know, even if it's something as simple as moonlight testing. You know, just take out a laser thermometer and put their objects out in the moonlight, and okay, you got this one. It's in direct moonlight. Fire it on that. See that it's cooler on this side. See that it's warmer on this side. You know, just go out. I mean, things like that. Just simple experiments, simple observations that can be made by anyone.
And document them as well. Get them on YouTube so we can confirm it. The more, the better we can confirm it all together.
Definitely. So I'm optimistic about where we're going to be 6 months from now. I feel good about it as far as the spread of flat Earth. Now, one thing that bugs me or that concerns me, I suppose, is the idea of what they are going to do in response, because they can see us online. They can see us online. They can see us taking it offline now. And it's becoming that much more obvious that more people are waking up, and they're going to have to they're going to need a distraction to get this thing under control. So, you know, that's the thing that concerns me. You know, how desperate have they become, or how desperate will they become to keep the world from figuring this out and staying focused on this. So I'm optimistic about the spread of information. I'm kind of leery about the result of the spread of information, though.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you so much for that, D.Marble. Thank you so much. Jason, what's your view on the next 6 months, darling? And where are you at with this? What do you see over the next 6 months?
Yeah, I'm hoping that there's I'd like to see a lot more of the bigger channels get out and do some street activism. That's not to suggest for a second that their role has been vital, because, as I say, I mean, like I'd been a huge fan of a lot of these big channels. Most of the big channels are from the States. I've been a big fan, but I'd like to see them, because they're big and influential. I'd like to see them get out on the streets as well. So I'm pointing fingers a little bit, and I don't want to be kind of rude. I feel like it's like activism is the way to go. You know, like to spread this awareness, because we're getting so much media attention now because of the activism in the UK, and I feel like it's time now for everybody to start shouting from the rooftops. And I kind of think that, you know, like, but a lot of these big channels, I learned so much from them. You know, like everything that I know doesn't necessarily come from the smaller channels. It comes from like Globusters and that, and journalism, and and Paul on the Plane. I've learned so much. So they're so needed. But I think it's time now. You know, like I want them to get out and start helping other people. And promoting street activism. You know, like that's where I kind of think I see that's where, without the lack of money, you know, like and getting adverts on billboards and on radio stations and in the TV, without the lack of money, I kind of think that we have to try other ways. We have to think outside of the box to get media attention all the time. You know, like so I feel like there's one thing I was doing all these experiments, and I've got hundreds of experiments I'm dying to do. I really have. I just lack of funds all the time. You know, like there's a lot of experiments that are free that we can all try, and you know, I've done quite a few. I actually, you inspired me, Dean, on your level on the aeroplane, and because you did the level on the aeroplane, I actually copied something similar. I don't know if you know what a 24-hour plug timer is. You know, like so you can put a plug into a socket, and then you plug your light into the plug, and it will spin round or something. A 24-hour timer. Well, I actually put a little cradle to it and put my phone in the cradle. Exactly what you did on the plane. But I put my phone in the cradle and watched a 24-hour timer, and I put about 8 or 9 cameras going right the way right round it. For 24 hours, filming it and showing that, well, you were on the plane and you didn't see it move once, that your bubble and all that, but I at home that the same MEMS device that's in your phone, I proved at home. So it's all inspired from you, and I proved that the bubble does turn over 24 hours slowly. And, and you can it was filmed and you can see it move over, and so with yours on, I was putting the film all together, and you wouldn't believe it. And as I said, I've got about 9 cameras, and I've got to redo the whole thing again because my hard drive crashed and I lost the data, the footage.
Oh man!
And it was all inspired by you, and because it was your MEMS device, on the plane proves that, if us in the UK went from the UK all the way down to Australia, we would see that bubble ascend, we would see it level off, and then we would see it descend. That's all you would see. You wouldn't see anything. Yeah. And you kind of proved that, and so happy with your evidence, and then with my evidence that I showed, with that plug in socket, and it shows that, well, how would a phone, the MEMS device, know that it was either in my lounge or in your aeroplane that you was on? How would it know the difference? So it was all inspired by you, but I have to recreate the whole bloody thing again, and it was such an effort to try and do the first time.
I know. So you're probably dragging your feet getting on that redo.
But anyway, so I kind of think so. There is cheap experiments that we can all do. I'm desperate to do a Cavendish experiment. It's been on my mind for a long time.
We should all each other to repeat these experiments that we're all doing. The more that we can repeat them and measurably observe the same results, it's going to stand a true testament. Where do you see it in about 6 months?
Well, from seeing things over the the last couple of months of Speaker's Corner, and how things have expanded, and how people's how the reaction of the public, I'm positive. So I'm quite positive about that. And I would actually, as the suggestion I made earlier was, just get out there in your own town, your own city, and just go out and do something similar and interact with the public. So if that can be done on a large scale, great. Things could really move forward. So
I think there's going to be a slow release. I think this time next year we're going to be sitting here and they're going to release the fact that we're not on a ball. They're not going to release the fact that it's flat, but they're going to release the fact that it's a ball. And then well, on that very important note, I'm going to say if we went live after this, I'll talk about it. If not, I'll talk about it at Hyde Park tomorrow.
Wow. So tune in next time.
Boom.
Yeah. Well, all right. I like what Roxanne said the best.
That's going to either warp people's minds or have people running for the hills.
Well,
go for it.
All right.
Great talking to you, D.Marble. Nice to meet you.
Jason, what were you going to say?
No, I'm just saying that of everyone that spoke then, I like what you said the best, Roxanne.
Yeah. So I'll repeat again. I feel there's going to be a slow release. By this time next year, we're probably going to be all in the knowledge that we've been lied to. And I feel they're going to do a slow release. And if you're into any kind of geometric kind of stuff, and you follow datelines and you watch other things that are going on that are all encompassing under this crap here, the biggest lie. See, this biggest lie has been told for so long that they've had to cover it with so much shit. They're running around after their tails right about now. And I think next year with this information that I'm privy to, you're going to see a shift in something that's going to be so obvious that we already know what's going to come next after it. They're going to have to move a couple of things out of the way, move a couple of people out of the way. One that's already been mentioned in this hangout, but one that hasn't been mentioned in this hangout. And I'm not even sure if after I mention it, my shit might get shut down. I might get shut down.
Save that for another time.
I might get doorbell knocks at my door and all sorts. So,
alrighty.
Yeah, so we'll save that for another hangout. And on that note, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I really want to thank D.Marble and Jason for taking the time out of their evenings to be with us tonight. I massively want to thank all of you in the chat room for taking the time out of your life to tune in and listen to what we're saying. I hope some of the things that we've said have resonated with you this evening. I hope you've heard some things you haven't heard before and you're going to go off and look into those things as well. And yeah, I'm greatly appreciative of you all being here. So on that note, Thank you, and good night, or good morning, or good afternoon.